Well, ain't that a kick in the head? I'm not kidding. The Fallout TV show just ended, and I have no clue whatsoever how it turned out because I tuned out at season one's ending. You can't really nuke Shady Sands and make me go, oh, okay, let's see how this goes. Hello there, everyone. The name's Adam.
And I'm Imsit, and yes, we're talking about Fallout. You know, the video game RPG. It was based on GURPS.
Yeah, it's the amazing game that was based on GURPS. No, we're messing with you. This is the Modiphius version. Modiphius
There
has
is a
had the
GURPS one,
rights.
but
Yeah.
yes, and it's quite a. Modiphius has done quite well with this licensed property because
Well, yeah, they
you
not
have
only have the
this,
RPG book, but they have a mini skirmish game as well, which that one actually is
and,
pretty solid from what I
and
understand.
I do have some of the miniatures. Uh, Not Games Workshop quality sculpts, but they do get the detail right and a variety of factions. Most of it's Bethesda stuff, um, but you could obviously paint the super mutants as the Master. You do have your Brotherhood of Steel. You do have Enclave, Caesar's Legion, NCR, whole bunch of other stuff.
Well, not only that, but they do have a few of their own unique models and builds. For example, they were not the ones to come up with the last son of Adam, for example. That
Oh,
is an antagonist for one of their adventure splats.
hmm. And that's the other thing. Their role-playing game system is actually quite popular, and they've actually been able to expand upon the lore. And in this case, the lore of the classic games, including Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas.
It's mostly 2 in New Vegas. So here's the thing. Let's get into the book. Now, we're covering Royal Flush, which does cover the Mojave, which is nice. You don't because most of the RPG takes place in the Commonwealth. Why? It's because that was when Fallout 4 was a thing. Fallout 4 was when they got the hands on the license for it. So, yeah, of course most of the content will be a settlement's under attack. You got to help annoying Preston Garvey save it and then shoot him when you get fed up with it. So, welcome to Royal Flush, which the best way to describe this book is Boomer's wild ride to trying to start a new apocalypse, which I think would have been a better idea than what they did with the TV show. I
I
think it would
mean,
have been.
I don't want to get too much into it. The TV show is designed to facilitate people to enter into the world of Fallout,
Kinda yeah,
and
kinda nah. From what I
and
can
I
understand, like the second season is not very good at doing that.
I'm enjoying the second season. Um, I think for people, I think it has facilitated people to go from watching the show to playing the games, and in that case, it is working as an adaptation.
I will say this, for all that I complained about how season one ended, up until then I was actually saying this is not bad. Like for TV nowadays, that's actually very high praise. The only other reason that I'm kind of leery about it is a TV show has not been able to stick a landing for a decade at this point. Well over a decade. Because Stranger Things season 5 ate shit.
Better Call Saul,
Squid Games ate shit. I'm just highlighting like a lot of these shows that people are
Andor.
bragging. Andor kind of wet the bed because you have to watch Rogue One, which is far inferior to it.
Like,
So yeah, it's shat its bed.
I said Better Call Saul,
That's the only one, but that's like
Pluribus.
relatively. I think that one kind of had a meh ending too.
Well, it's setting up for a sequel.
Yeah,
I've
that's
heard the
not
chair
good.
company's good. Venture
Metric Steel.
Brothers ended this decade.
Venture Brothers is the only one, but that doesn't count since that thing is ancient by comparison to other TV since they kept struggling to get it finished.
Primal.
Primal was short and it was basically a pity bone to
Side
Tartakovsky.
Effects.
Yeah, but the vast majority, I'm highlighting the vast majority don't get that. The vast majority
Oh yeah, the
shit the
vast
bed.
majority is slop.
No, you're really going to say that something like you're going to say that the big thing that brought D&D back was slop. Stranger Things was slop.
I don't play D&D.
Now, I
So
I would
yes,
agree with you because it does eventually. What happened was they just wouldn't kill any fucking characters, so they had way too many, and it had one of the worst ways to explain anything to anyone. You know how in old movies they used to have plans and they would just be very direct and tell you what to do? Now, what if you
yeah,
had 8 characters bounce around ideas on how to solve the problem and then throw in a bunch of pop references? That is
I call
how
that
that
Fallout
worked.
2. Eh?
Yeah, fair enough. Fallout 2, I like Fallout 2 a lot,
It's
but
a
it's
fun game,
buggy.
but
God, it's
I
very
listen.
bad with this.
I'm starting to not understand the references, and it's mostly '90s stuff.
Yeah.
But also
Well,
to
in
bring up
fairness,
Metro
there's a
one
segment you can go into with the Guardian of Forever. That's a 60s reference, my guy.
oh yeah, that is a star. But to bring up what Patrick Steele said, one day Takis will be remembered. Well, remember they have the airships now from the Brotherhood. It is remembered, but
Barely.
having played bit of the game, oh, there's no way that the Midwest Brotherhood held its territory. I'm guaranteeing you it crumbled.
No, they're gonna survive partially because that is one of the
Oh,
problems they have.
survive partially, but you gotta understand, you go from Chicago to like Kansas.
Yeah, but
Or
here's
no,
the
you go to
thing.
the Cheyenne Mountains. There's no way that the Brotherhood's holding all that territory.
No, it will because they need the Brotherhood in every Fallout game because they don't seem to understand that it was solely a Western Coast sort of thing founded by former militants.
Yeah, and then the message got out. Listen,
It's not a message. It's a load of shit. You found them in Fallout 76, like right after the bombs dropped. That's
yeah,
nonsense.
they got a message and then an expeditionary force. There's a whole bunch to it. We don't have time to get into that, but it does bring up a good point of like the difference between the TV show and then the games. The TV show, I'd say, is very character focused. We are focusing on the perspectives and the journeys of specific characters,
No, you're
while the
not wrong.
games tend to focus more on what's going on in this settlement. So we do get characters, but we're not worried about their daily lives. It's more what's the theme of this area.
You care about your companions for the most part. You sometimes care about specific locals, but you are an avatar of change in the wastelands. That's how the games work,
And I think Royal
which wouldn't work
Flush,
for a TV show.
yeah, does give us a good perspective on kind of what the NCR is at this time, despite what we get from New Vegas.
By the way, look at all the
And
people who are involved.
and
I
and
will
it
say,
honestly it does help clarify what goes on in the TV show.
I will also say that writing wise, there are only 4 people, which that's quite a few. But this is also a pretty big book, so we're probably fine. And well, I mean, yeah, there's entire sections. First off, there's new options, rules, and tools. Some details on the Mojave because hey, you might not have played Fallout. You might have only played Fallout 4, or hell, you might have only played 76.
Or Shelter.
I don't
Lord
think you'd.
help you if you played Shelter.
I don't think you'd play Shelter by itself. I think you'd have to play one of the other games to want that one. Or maybe
As
you
somebody
only
who did
watch the
play
TV
Shelter
show.
early on, yes.
You watch the TV show. Hey, let's play Shelter. Maybe.
Hey, I saw the vault scenes. I loved those meandering plot lines.
Oh
But
man.
what
Also,
is
the
interesting
show
in
did
this
absolutely fuddy whacker how New Vegas's plotline worked, but who gives a shit? They kind of had to. No
they
one was gonna be happy because here's the thing: your no version of the Mojave Wasteland is the same when you play it.
also it's been 15 years.
Okay, then by this logic, then Star Wars should be fine being made dead, lame, and gay because it's been decades since the original came out, and it's been decades since the prequels came out.
It's been 15 years in a post-apocalyptic world versus 15 years in a semi-stable country, America, in the 90s.
Fair
We're
enough.
getting confused from our point. The point of this game, though, is it does provide us a series of towns and quests to go on as we head to Vegas, and including places like New Reno,
which is
as
from
well as
most known from Fallout 2.
yeah, as well as fun fa- a area that is referenced in one comment in New Vegas, Hawthorne, which is apparently
Oh
has an
yeah.
armory.
Oh yeah, yeah. You don't go there at
Yeah,
all. It was cut. It was
well, yeah,
cut because they
because
ran out of budget.
various other towns, locations, and then we do get a bit of Novak
I am a
and
bit
New
surprised they
Vegas.
don't have a reference to Van Buren. You'd think they would have been able to get away with a Van Buren reference.
I mean, the Caesar's Legion is that.
Yes and no. Come on. That's not what you're being particular. You're just being
Yeah,
particular.
there might be as we go through, but the central conflict is this: the
Accelerationism.
year, yeah, war, war never changes. In the year 2280, a former boomer known as Major Bullinger hopes to fire off a set of skirmishes across the region to ignite war that her people believe is inevitable. In doing so, she hopes to wipe the Mojave clear of anyone too weak to survive the conflict, only leaving the strong to rebuild society.
Essentially, this is an interesting idea, and I mean, this is an interesting idea. The concept of using a minor faction to kind of try to kick this all off, especially since they're kind of playing with the idea that this might have been what set up the original Battle of the Hoover Dam.
Yeah, possibly.
Or actually, no,
And
is this the second or first battle they mentioned?
this would be the second. The first
Okay,
battle
so it's
happened.
post first. So
It's
that's
post
even
first.
weirder.
Well, you've got a Cold War kind of situation going on, and this character's trying to light the fuse.
Fair enough.
What we
And
They
your
say that the
job is to
game's
stop
designed
that.
for, yeah, 4 to 5 players, um, and they do actually say here recommend you should always have somebody benefit from the survival skill. Others that are important is repair, science, and speech. And there is something important in the explaining the way the mechanics works with the 2D20 system. You'll have your special attributes, based on the game, and then skills. You add the total of those up, and you roll a d20 and try to get equal to or under it.
Yeah, essentially what how the 2D20 system works is it's a roll under system. The higher your stats is the better because that means you're less likely to screw it up. The other reason it's a 2D20 system is there are things called threat and opportunity. Basically, you can barter with the DM on
And
getting
yeah,
freebies in exchange. They have the ability to fuck you over later, and vice
yeah, in
versa.
this case, it's called action points. If you want to get more successes, you can spend action points. If you get criticals, such as you have a tagged skill, and let's say you have a science of 3, you roll your d20, and even if you fail, you get a 3, 2, or a 1 on the score, you get a success or a action point. There's also they have a special die. It's a d6, but it's used for combat. Um, it has the Volt Boy on it and 2 bullet points or 2 bullet
It's a
holes, 1 bullet
proprietary
hole.
D6. You basically
Yeah,
what you're gonna need if you have a D6 is you're gonna need a translator. That's what the core book does. They also have cards. Insert reading here. Not really. The way the cards work are they're designed to help you remember what your perks are because what you do is you take your sheet, you put your cards next to it, and that tells you what the perks do. Because you get a lot of perks in the system as well, much like you do in the games.
yeah, that's actually a very good way to handle it. That's always been a confusion with me with the base like D&D systems. So many perks that I can't even remember them all.
Feats always take the longest for me when I make a character, mainly because a
So
lot of them are terrible, but a lot of them are also useful, so you have to try to figure out which ones you want. I will say, however, that the perk cards that you get for the RPG is not applicable to the minis game. Sorry, you're gonna have to get another set. Ring a ding ding, baby, you gotta pay more.
one thing though that I like with this game or with this campaign, you have
Well, I like that it's in the setting that I like the most, which
yeah.
is the West Coast.
So you do have a deadline.
Yeah, because otherwise you get a nice. It's not quite the divide level bad of.
Now,
spoiler alert.
but
There are nukes in the Mojave somewhere.
listen, if you waste your time and 2281 rolls around, and it is in October, I'd give what the Courier month or two. So like by December of 2281, the
Early
second Battle
December.
of Hoover Dam will happen.
Early,
And
mid to late December, because what happens is you get shot in the head, I think, in November.
no, when'd you get shot? Like October 23rd?
This is October or November. It's vaguely around that time. Because it's supposed to be about on the anniversary of when Mr. House was supposed to get his chip.
Say, yeah. Now that could be a fun thing to play. Is okay. How do your characters now interact with Fallout New Vegas? But the thing is, a lot of the settlements that you're interacting with will probably get screwed over.
Well, yeah, if you fail to stop Belanger, a lot of them get screwed up. However, this does lead to something interesting. You might actually, they don't have it here because I think they forgot about it, but canonically, there used to be another small settlement near Good Springs called Bonnie Springs that was destroyed by bandits. I think it was either just raiders or it could have been powder gangers who did it.
I do not remember Bonnie Springs, but
It's a site location that you can find in the game. It is near Good Springs, but historically it got fucked over by raiders.
ah,
It happened like a few years prior. It happened like a couple years prior to the game.
hmm. But moving on to chapter 1, they do give us new character options.
They also
And
tell
they
you
have a
straight up,
bunch of
don't run multiple deadlines because that means your players are. You got to keep in mind, players are interesting combination of hyper focused and also not very bright. Sorry, like here's the thing. That is true. If you give them a path and you tell them you have X time until, they will put that off. There's good odds they will put that off.
so
Oh,
yeah.
hey, I think this is the quarry that you get your butt kicked by all those death claws in.
No, that's not Quarry Junction. No, I know that this is exactly from Fallout 4.
Oh yeah, it's the
This is
thing
a
with
that's a
the mire
the
lurks, yeah.
various uh either Mire lurks or just a concept design of
Yeah,
because
it's the
there's
pit you're
multiple
supposed to
quarries.
drain. Yeah, it's the pit you're supposed to drain. And
There's
you have to
multiple
fight the
quarry.
mire lurks, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if you're wondering, if you hear me drink throughout, it's because I'm taking a trusty sip of Nuka-Cola Quantum. So if you hear
So
occasional like noises, that's probably what that is.
and a lot of the books have provided character origins. The base ones was like Brotherhood of Steel, Vault Dweller,
Vault Dweller's coming,
Wastelander,
Wastelander,
Ghoul.
um,
I think Robot even. Others are giving
uh,
you super mutants,
synthetic,
NCR citizen,
yeah, synthetic
synths.
NCRs.
Yeah. What this game gives you, and it does say that it expands upon rules from various other books, but first off, Enclave Remnant.
Yeah, if you want to play a member of the Enclave because they were in the area, you can play as one of them. Uh,
And they are hiding, and they give you for that rule, you get a tagged skill, but it must be sneaker survival. And if you are revealed as ex Enclave, the NCR and the Brotherhood of Steel will post bounties against you.
well, yeah, because of the crimes you did, the many crimes you did in California.
You know, wanting to kill everybody.
Total genocide. Don't mind if I do.
Listen, you're not human. If you were human, you would understand.
Ignore that the vice president was technically a mutant because he tried to test a vaccine. If you're wondering, the Dan Quayle parody injected himself with the FEV and then a vaccine. The vaccine stopped the physical mutation, but it made him, well, it made him Dan Quayle, which is a massive downgrade.
I don't think Dick Richardson got mutated.
No, Dick himself did not. His vice president was technically a mutant because of the testing they did on the vaccine.
Wait, you mean Frank Horgan?
No, no. Richard what's his name? Byrd. Vice President Byrd, the guy that just says a bunch of Dan Quayle quotes.
I
So Dick Richardson has a vice president. You can run into him on the Enclave oil rig, and both of them are a parody of Republican era presidents because of fucking course they were. And Byrd was specifically, his entire purpose was to quote random Dan Quayle jokes, references at you, because he was the
Oh,
1990s version of Sarah Palin.
Wait a minute.
It's
I
it's almost like dating your references like this was a bad idea. But
I
the
believe. Oh,
entire
I'm
gag
I'm looking.
is
Well,
he had brain damage, and
oh yeah.
but despite this, his handwriting somehow improved.
Was it here? I believe we are on an irreversible trend towards more freedom and democracy, but that could change.
Yeah, that's an actual Dan Quayle quote. That is an actual Dan Quayle quote.
I can't believe Fallout got political.
Yeah, it got woke real early. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, you can't buy it anymore. It's total woke shit. But
I can't
in
believe it.
reality, the Enclave, right?
What's next? What's next? The NCO was founded by an Indian.
I mean, vaguely brown.
You can play as a woman, and they don't have any modifications to their stats. I mean, that's not fair.
Well, I mean, I can
We're
tell you
talking
they're
about
based.
it's supposed to be the 1950s. It should be all white, and there should be no woman. It should only be men, burly, tough, strong men out there rugging it in the waist, shirtless.
Speaking of which, did you know that originally that you were supposed to be able to play a black vault dweller?
How dare they?
So what they had was they actually had a few. They couldn't get them into the game in time. One of the cosmetics you could have picked was black, and the other one was a redheaded girl. You could play a redheaded vault dweller woman. They couldn't get them to work, so instead they just kind of focused on the two genericos that they just kind of had.
What's that? What's that? So you gonna tell me that there were gays and transgender people working at Interplay?
I mean, confirmed bachelor and the lady killer are both perks you could have gotten as early as the first game.
No, Confirmed Bachelor was only New Vegas, which
I could have swore it was in Fallout 2
further,
as well.
further. No, I had it in Fallout New Vegas after playing before I played Fallout 3. So I'm like, Fallout 3 actually playing as a woman was better because you could get the perk that made more damage against men. So when I saw that in Fallout New Vegas, I'll take that, and I had no clue that it meant that I made my character a homosexual.
That's fantastic.
I
That's
then took the
hilarious.
other one to be I then took the other perk to be min maxing, and I made my character bisexual by accident. I
A
had no
depraved
clue.
bisexual.
I
Well,
think I did do the Fisto thing.
I love the mental image of what happened was he was completely sane, and then Benny shot him in the head, and nothing was the right ever since. His skull matter and his rectum were ruined. One by the hit bis swinging his cat in New Vegas, and the other by a robot.
Well, next up though,
But
that we
yeah,
can play
Enclave
as,
remnants are playable. Most of
then we
them are
have
old, not all of them.
you could play as someone who was a child, and
Wait,
then
wait a minute. This guy kind of looks. Was this on purpose?
what?
Is that Will Stancil? Is that Enclave guy Will Stancil? I mean, the hair's off, but he kind of looks like Will Stancil a little bit.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's the average liberal in in the Enclave. He only wants to kill that those that are intensely radiated.
Also, yeah,
If you're from the wasteland, but you just got a little radiation, you're fine.
also you are
The
right, Squirrel Killer. One of the funniest and most effed up things you can do is you can seduce Benny. You can seduce Benny.
And this is the fault of Benny. He decides I'm gonna tap the person who has a vendetta against me.
No, but here's the thing. Here's the fucked up thing. I think originally, before they didn't have enough time to do it, you could have made him a companion if you decided to just let bygones be bygones and fuck him.
I mean, I think then the end would have him been shooting you in the head again.
Jokes on, jokes on, jokes on him. That's why he broke something when he shot you in the head.
I can, as a female career, I can fix him.
You know, that's one of the funniest shit posts ever. By the way, you can also play a follower of the apocalypse, which,
Yeah.
for those wondering, they are the followers of the apocalypse. Their quest was bugged in the original game, but the concept behind them were they are remnants of hospital staff and charity workers who, in the aftermath of the atomic bombings, decided to commit to their beliefs that their purpose is to help people. They They help people for free. They abhor violence for the most part, and essentially are the unlike the Brotherhood of Steel, are very willing to teach others their medical sciences. They're pretty good at it. With the
Yeah,
exception of one, with his intelligence of 4, he then became a warlord. But we don't talk about Ed Sallow
I do. Yeah, it says when reducing another character's zero hit points, a follower must leave that character alive and cannot choose to kill them.
because they take the Hippocratic Oath as a real thing.
You can re-roll your charisma and speech test.
Also, yes, canonically, Benny swings both ways because you can seduce him as a confirmed bachelor.
I don't know. You can't.
Apparently, he can. I've never done it. I've
I
never done it as a guy though, so I wouldn't know.
I remember encountering Benny. I would have used it if it was.
Fair enough.
But next up, you can play as the Vipers.
Oh yeah, that
Everyone
shitty
remembers the
band of
Vipers.
raiders. Aren't they from? I think they might have been from Van Buren actually.
Let me
They
see
got
from
used
the
later on,
wiki.
but I think their initial
Yes, yeah,
concept was
no,
from
they
Van
are.
Buren.
They initially were from Van Buren. They were not. They were also supposed to be part of from Vault 15,
Yeah, they were
where the Cons and the
basically
Jackals
so.
come from.
So what happened was Shady Sands, the Cons, the Vipers, and a third gang were formed because the entire purpose of Vault 15 was the scientific principle. What if we got a lot of people with different political beliefs who just kind of all fucking hated each other in the same vault? That was the experiment. It was normal in every other way but that. It opened early mainly because they were barely able to suppress a riot and they realized we're going to kill each other in this fucking place if we stay in here.
But that's where the New California Republic came from.
It's also where the cons, which are damn near unkillable, because they keep bringing them back, even though you canonically kill them off twice completely. Technically 3 times if you include New Vegas. Uh,
Technically, 4 times if you include. Well, no, not the TV. They only killed a few of them.
it's kind of ridiculous. Like, no faction ever dies because what happens is some desperate idiot wants to write for them. Even though, like, it's just a gang guy. Come up with something else. But yeah, the Vipers came from Van Buren. They were referenced earlier in 1, but not really. Van Buren's what really did them.
And then New Vegas got us.
Also,
Uh,
yes, you can play a raider. You can play a raider in
yeah,
core Fallout roleplay.
yes. And the Vipers, they have their own faith, worshiping Ophiolatria, the worship of snakes,
Oh yeah, if you're wondering, they got the name because if I remember right, one of their founders got it fell into like a snake pit. They fell into
and
a
live.
snake pit and got bit multiple fucking times, and then they barely survived getting envenomed. But during that, they had a spiritual journey. They basically had a fugue state. They entered a fugue state as their body fought off the toxin and saw their god, which is a snake lady.
And you actually get the ability to create poisons and poison resistance.
Well, not only that, but the Viper, another aspect of the Vipers that they kind of missed were they were supposed to also be kind of stealth masters. They weren't
Oh no, they
supposed.
have that here. They have that here too. One additional tag skill, which must either be medicine or sneak.
Yeah, because the Vipers are supposed to. They kind of look like Raiders, but they were also supposed to kind of look like John Rambo, but with snakes.
Hmm.
Also, yeah, Squirrel Killer. It was probably an unofficial patch because Benny cannot. Like, there's a lot of guys who swing both ways in that game, or some confirmed bachelors, but Benny doesn't swing that way, buddy. Not without the mods. He'll do it for a few caps, baby, but he won't do it for free.
So next up, there's rules for essentially wasteland survival, setting up a camp.
Which is just kind of
Um,
neat stuff that you can
yeah,
do. I don't know if they should have used their page spaces this way, but it's useful. Also, camping inhabitants, because you might just run into campsites.
ghouls. No super mutants inside promises the bright green words outside the area. That has to be a no mutants allowed reference.
No,
That has to be a reference to their form.
it's a reference to Fallout 4. Remember the radio broadcast where the mutants were forcing a hostage to read "No be eaten here"?
No,
I'm pretty sure that's they're referencing more 4
well,
than
when they
that.
say no super mutants inside, allowed, mute. I don't know.
I mean, it could
Could
be
be.
that. It could be that. I think it's more of a Fallout 4 reference. I will say that Bethesda and oh god, BlackRock, not BlackRock. That's the evil company, Black Isle. Back in
Hmm.
the day when that was solvent, they were actually very in touch with their forum base to the point where in Fallout 2, there is a special event you sometimes run into where an angry mob kills a guy called a troll. And this is a reference to their forums where one dude managed to piss off not only the entire forums, but several of the game devs at the same time, before he got banned on a level that is not thought to have been possible. And they decide to put that troll in the game, basically apologizing for being a piece of shit as he's lit on fire and killed by the entire angry mob of dirty peasants. It's one of the special events you can run into. If you ever run
Yeah.
into it, that's what it's supposed to reference. It's supposed to reference a very infamous troll on their forums during that time.
Hmm. Then you get camping
You
visitors,
can also
camping
scavenge here,
encounters.
and this
Yes,
is the stuff you can get
scavenging
from it. As
and
for what materials are, that's something from the core game. Basically,
it's a survival mechanic.
yeah, which is a neat idea. I kind of like that they include this.
And they also include then, well, living in the desert, because this is something the games don't really get, but it's fucking hot in a desert,
It's even hotter here. So,
especially now that you have mutation.
something I'm not a fan of, that I've never been a fan of, that they've added recently, are these rad storms. This is from Fallout 76, most
No,
76
four
and
had it.
4,
Four had it.
but I still don't like either of them.
I mean, in this case, it's a dust storm, but it's a rad dust storm.
That makes sense. The magical storms that just lift up everything that exist in Fallout 76 is the nonsense.
I don't
It's
know about 76. Four, they at least said it's coming from the glowing sea.
which I still think is nonsense that that area is in particular that bad.
For
Because
some
by
reason,
this
it is.
logic, you know, Dayglow in the West Coast, that it should have had weather like that. Like, there's an area called the pit.
Listen,
Well, not the Pittsburgh, but like there's another big nuclear
yeah,
pit
the
in LA.
FEV mutated the clouds. They don't act normally anymore.
I mean, this is also the game.
Yes, FEV somehow mutated stuff that is not biological life. Let's just go with it.
I mean, I was also gonna just do as a shitpost reference. Fallout 76, which also had them, also has a resource that literally regrows. It respawns. It in lore is a magical version of coal that, due to I think
Oh,
it's radiation.
ultrasight.
Yeah, ultra. That shit is nonsense. Like, let's be blunt. That is nonsense. I don't hate the
Yeah.
concept of a specialized seam that they find in the Appalachians, but the way they handled it was nonsense. I
Uh,
do, however, very much love that the Appalachians became a hotbed of communism.
yeah. Oh, that actually is a very nice reference.
Yeah, basically what happened. Oh, and also, so some things about 76 is if it came out with actual, like cast of NPCs and stuff, and like it was a full world and not a bunch of dead people, I think it would have actually done fine on launch.
Yeah.
It would have been a
I think
buggy
it's
piece of
from what
shit,
I've
but I think
yeah
people would have appreciated it more.
from what I've heard it's good now.
Well, it still nickels and dimes you to shit and back, but it's actually
Yeah.
playable now. Like here's the thing: up until about 2023, 2024, you were an idiot if you bought it.
But they have a lot more content to it, and actually recently they've gone to Ohio, and it's a very interesting lore dealing with the immediate aftermath. Like there's a group hiding out in what's supposed to be, I guess, Ohio University, and you get reports and records of them saying like, you know what? Screw these weak guys. Why don't we just go out and just start taking what we need? They're not our family, so screw them.
That's like a neat moment. I will have to somewhat agree that with Squirrel Killer that one of the problems with 76 is while the factions as a concept weren't bad, lore-wise they kind of shit all over the setting. Like, I don't care that Maxon broadcasted this shit during the apocalypse. It's nonsense that all of these former soldiers are copying this night bullshit, especially in the Appalachians. Different culture, you get what I mean?
Yeah, I just see that.
Also,
But
I could here's the thing. I could buy the Enclave having a base there because it's West Virginia.
yeah,
Like of all the places, if I had to atomic bomb the U.S., what's the place I would least likely to bomb? Not the Midwest because that's where the nuclear silos are. Not
Alaska,
no because that's a front line area. That's where a lot of the military is during the war.
Puerto Rico,
That it has a base, it has naval bases, but possibly Puerto Rico is not a bad. West
Maine.
Virginia and parts of Ohio are are relatively safe because there's like nothing of value there. I can understand the Enclave putting bunkers in that area, so I'm not.
Also, because
I don't think it's
I,
nonsense there.
I believe White Springs is an actual like government safe house.
Yeah.
But back to the game. They also do
Also,
give
yeah, Squirrel. I
expand.
agree. They should have done more than Brotherhood of Steel. In fact, funnily enough, fun fact, even though they never established the lore for them, this is actually kind of why, for all I have some issue, I have some, not a ton of issues. It's mostly pacing. Fallout 4 does introduce the Gunners, which are heavily hinted to be remnants of the New York National Guard that went rogue.
New York.
They were remnants of the New York National Guard that went rogue. Yeah.
This takes place in Boston.
Yeah, they moved. It's hinted that they come from the New York area and they're basically setting up protection rackets.
Ah,
I think there's also some hints that they might be in connection. They might have been really corrupt because they had mob ties by that point.
could have been. But
I could
and
be
back to
making this up, but the original idea is they were supposed to be National Guard units that went rogue, particularly from New York and like the bare edges of the Commonwealth.
yeah. But back to the game's mechanics. They do have an interesting navigating the wasteland mechanic
Oh
where
yeah. Also, just here's the desert environment table. I do apologize for kind of spurging out like that, but you basically what happens is you roll a d20, and then you roll the special die, the d6, and this is the type of stuff you can run into because it's not just no water. Sometimes you get flooded because the desert is a parched land and it doesn't really absorb that stuff well. Sorry about
yeah.
sorry about that.
Um, but so the way it works, and when you're rolling your dice, you have to get either between 0 and 5 successes. Maximum is 5, actually minimum is 1. So they give different challenges. So if you're unfamiliar with the area or the final destination, +1 difficulty. If it's surrounded by a hostile faction, +1. If it's over a day, travels away, +1. If it's connected to your origin point by a road or a path, -1. If it has notable landmarks, -1.
For example, Novak is pretty easy to get to because of the dinosaur.
Yeah. Based on the group's average agility.
I do like that they have a speed. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
It is annoying to chart this, but this is an adventure that requires you to because there's a time limit.
And if you have played the older Fallouts, I actually don't know if agility is tied to how fast your character moves on the world map.
It mostly determines how many times I think you can fire. I do think it does affect how fast your character moves in terms of action pace, like per action point.
Hmm.
It
But
determines
still,
how
the
far they
the
can move in
idea.
an action round. It also can determine how often they can fire, I think.
Yeah.
It also, I think, partially determines accuracy, but not completely.
Yeah. You have to choose your navigator.
Also, the
Um.
other thing about agility is in the first Fallout game, you also were on a timer. It's not as strict,
Yes.
but it is on a timer, and that's actually why I'm not a big fan of playing that one unless I have to.
Yeah.
I don't like being
Um.
rushed.
It. Well, no, you could just give it to the water traders, and that'll help you find your the water chip, and nothing else. So then you do have to take the navigation test, which is endurance plus survival. Uh,
Because it doesn't matter how fast you are if you get lost.
you get complications, which you get an issue with an encounter, change in the weather, damage to one of your items, or Uh, thirst.
Another
Like,
fun aspect of the journey complications table is the best way to describe this is if you got interrupted during fast travel.
oh yeah.
That's basically getting interrupted
I
during
mean
fast
that's what
travel.
this encounter deck is for. They also give you rules for vehicles.
Well, they give you travel montages. From a short run between the safety of ruins to the long marches of New Reno to New Vegas, travel is an inevitable part of wasteland life, and no quest is ever complete without moving from one location to another. However, when managing an active gameplay at the table, it is important to know when to take your time and savor the journey or shortcut a trip for the sake of the narrative. When you're preparing a section of travel in Royal Flush, consider the following. Does the journey matter to the players, or is it just the destination that holds interest? Does your narrative focus on the survival aspects of this? If the answer to either question's no, then consider fast tracking. Just skip.
I like that. Uh,
Well, yeah, you kind of
uh,
have to.
yeah. So with the vehicles, because we only get like only one vehicle. Well, no, two. Vertibird and a Chrysler Highwayman.
Yeah, you can get because that one you can fuel nuclearly.
Uh,
Also, there are what
there
they
are
try to
mods.
do. What they try to do because they always get referenced, but because of the engine they're on being so fucking old, they do reference that there are vehicle guys. Because remember, there's the Atom Cats, the greasers that
There's
have
the
their
Adam.
cars. It's the
There
greaser
might be
faction that allows you to soup up your
yeah.
power armor. They also
There
do
might be
cars.
yeah. They might be horses,
That too.
but
Motorcycles.
you have
I
to
mean, come on, you
yeah.
have to have a Mad Max gang.
Oh, you yeah, the 88s.
Witness
I think the 80.
me.
Uh, they do have a fuel track, and you could use just hard liquor as your fuel.
Yeah, hard liquor. You can convert it. Another thing you can do because here's some interesting things. There used to be steam cars. Steam cars used to exist. They were made up until the 1920s when the last company called Stanley Steamers. I'm not even kidding. That's their name. Their
I thought
CEO was killed under suspicious circumstances by their brother during a race.
hmm.
But essentially, they were steam powered. There was obviously gasoline powered. Electric cars were a thing with batteries. So it's not unreasonable to do this. You can also convert cars to run on wood, although it's highly inefficient.
Yeah. So I
Brahmin
do
carts,
like
yeah, that's
the
another thing
yeah
metric. Brahmin carts,
they
chariots,
yeah they do
rickshaws.
give various the various bonuses or profile. They don't give you profiles for
They
vehicles. I think
also
that's in a
have
different
driving
book.
mechanics. This is an entire section on driving mechanics because I don't remember. Do they have that in the core book?
I don't know, but
I think they had vehicles in the core book, but I think this is
right.
just expanding on it.
But then they do bring up the encounter deck. And how do you do the encounter deck? Well, cards. Not proprietary
We
cards, mind you.
Yeah, you just use a
Just
deck of card,
it's just a regular deck of cards. Aces to kings.
which I don't really care
Jokers
for
not
this
included.
sort of shit. But on the other hand, it's a New Vegas and New Reno sort of thing. New Vegas, New Reno, Carson City, that
Oh,
sort of place.
actually, and here's the other thing. It's not just the cards, but the type of card as well. So it's a lot of different encounters. Oh, they do actually have jokers. If jokers are included, they're considered wild, meaning that they can stand as any card of their choice.
Interesting. Also, the other
An
thing that
ace,
they do is they count aces as wild, which also means that you can change the rules if you wish. For example, whenever I've played, I tend to play poker sometimes, and I tend to play it with deuces wild rules, where twos count for any card.
and so that little die there of the vault boy, it's 1d6 or like 2d6.
So 4 plus 4 d6 rad roaches on a two. That's
They're
pretty.
rad roaches.
Yep. 3 plus on aces on hearts. 3 plus 3 d6 raiders.
It could be that I don't know if then they modify it because there's technically only like four different faces on the die. Two of them are blank. I don't know, but
Yeah, I don't know what they were
um,
trying to do with this. This is a garbage table. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This book is pretty good so far, or at least pretty solid. It's good workmanship.
I don't know what they mean with that die there, but maybe in terms of the game mechanics, because
I
the
don't
difference
like
between like
that.
then a raider and like a death claw. Like they make the equivalent of a death claw be a raider veteran and 3+3d6 raiders.
Oh, I know why they're doing. Because there's also levels in the game. That's the other thing.
The other thing, it might also be like, okay, you encounter them, but if you ever played the original Fallout, usually when you encounter a tough thing, is you run away.
Yep.
Run the fuck away to the edge of the board.
Oh, also, metric steel is right. You can also drive boats because of places like Point Lookout and Far Harbor. Yep, boats are a thing. In fact,
You don't drive them, you
There were boats in New Vegas along the river, along the Colorado.
yeah, technically you have to get to one to get to the fort.
Hmm.
They do have then XP, balancing combat encounters, providing non-combat goals.
Oh, also, here's the mutant mole rat. Isn't it horrible looking? I like it.
I do actually like the oh, I didn't realize this. It's got human like regular human sized teeth.
Yep, it grew a second set of teeth like it. Actually, no, I think it might be like. Have you ever seen how a moray eel eats? That's a second set of jaws.
Oh wow, that
That's fantastic.
we can't deny Bethesda's got good artwork design in its games.
Oh, also, the queen and king cards. If you get those, just curl up into a ball and cry. Because, yeah, Deathclaw or Yao Guai.
I like how a Yao Guai's tougher than a Deathclaw, or at least
Uh,
I
yeah,
don't even know if they are or not. But oh, what about this?
it,
The plasma
dude,
minefield
it's
for
basically an
a
FEV
Jack of
mutated
Spades.
bear, my guy.
You're right.
That's pretty fucking nasty.
Imagine if it's like the Revenant.
I think it also,
You're
I
getting
think, yeah, it's
you're
pretty
getting
awful.
pounded like Fisto.
Or you can just run into a bomb crater and just eat shit and die of radiation poisoning, which is pretty great.
Yeah. So they do make these random encounters more than what they usually are in the game, which is shoot the thing trying to kill you.
Yeah, because sometimes you run into stuff that's not necessarily terrible. Like you could run into a
Yeah.
Brotherhood expedition, which they might
Like
not hate you. Caravans
they
are
give it
usually pretty chill.
yeah. They give the example of a Yao Guai. What if it's a Yao Guai trying to keep her cubs safe?
Yeah. Or alternatively, think about it like this: you run into a roaming robot, and it's just like a Mr. Gutsy that has no fucking clue what it's supposed to do, and it confuses you for a soldier, and demands to know where the army base is, and you might be able to get a temporary compadre, a temporary robot friend.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to
And
always be a big fight. And hell, um, there is a fairly legendary story I remember where someone played in it was a play by I think it was a play by post Fallout RPG on like some form of chat or forum. The dude played an Enclave guy and basically was trolling the fuck out of them. Because
hmm,
basically what happened was the RPG they were playing degenerated into mostly just the NCR and Brotherhood bloviating and whining. There was no Kaiser's Legions or anything. Dude rocks in with an Enclave. One of the first things he does is befriend a Deathclaw and manages to get him on side
hmm.
because they are
So I,
intelligent. If you can, yeah, they are very tameable and very smart. If you can,
so they also do provide in these
they
rules
can even speak if
you
you're lucky.
yeah thirst, which is in the base game, states thirst, dehydration, the effect of dehydration, which
Yeah.
can be anything from dry mouth, dizziness, to raising heart and breath, fainting, exposure to extreme heat.
Speaking of which, I have on my hands. I forget the name of the drink that's from. What's the name of the Moxie ripoff from Fallout again?
Moxie, what
There is a ripoff of Moxie in Fallout 4.
Vim?
Yeah, Vim. Yeah, that's what it is. I
Vim
got a
Pop?
bit of Vim, so let me take a crack open so that I
Oh
avoid
yeah, it
dehydration.
is the official state beverage of Maine.
Yeah, it's a reference to Moxie, which by the way, Moxie ain't bad if you like the taste of pennies. I'm joking. It's basically a much more herbal version of Dr. Pepper. So if you don't like it, you just don't. It's not bad though. Also correct, Squirrel Killer. Deathclaws were not normal, a natural reaction to the apocalypse. They were part of a scientific weapons project alongside the Cazadores and a couple of other monsters.
Yeah, and but here's the thing: they also include this gambling.
Dehydration, yep. Oh, and they even have a D20 roll for that. Sleep and thirst,
Yeah,
exposure. Extreme heat,
They
which yeah, have fun.
so now they do say you could just leave that up to like maybe like a luck roll or something like that. But yes, if you want to, you can have the players play blackjack, poker, craps, or caravan.
Not bad. I think there's a reason I'm not a fan of cards in my games, and it's mainly because if you give me a deck of cards, odds approach one that I will say, can we just play a nice round of blackjack, poker, or
Yeah,
pinochle?
but I do think this would be fun if you play caravan and you're like then in a very tense competition with the GM. Yeah, it's like a break from maybe combat or something like that, and you've got like the guys around, um, the player actually
No, no,
playing
no.
the
I
game.
have a funnier idea. Okay, hear me out. You pull out the deck because like the super mutant warlord
Mhm.
stomps down towards you and simply says, "You human, you have card game? What deck? Previous deck destroyed by bad human. Wish to play goldfish. Survive. You win, not be eaten."
No, no, he brings out a Tragic the Gathering card set.
you have to play a you have to play a game of Magic, or else he eats you.
No, no, Tragic. Remember, it's Tragic the Gathering.
Yeah, you mentioned Metric mentions Deadlands, which I have issues with Deadlands as a setting, but I think a lot of it is I think it's overhyped, and I don't like the direction that the creators went with it. I just don't. But you have to play a card game with the devil to cast magic, which just it sounds cool, but then it shits up the gameplay. You know what I mean? Where it just eats time. It's the same reason you don't do deckers in your classic Shadowrun games.
So they then bring up the settlement mechanic of,
Another
designing
settlement
against your
needs
own
you help.
settlement. But let's move on to actually the main plot of the game.
Well, the main plot of this adventure. Well,
Yeah.
yes and no. It's also here's the Mojave. Have you ever been here?
And they start us out in Reno, or at least near Reno. There's various ways you can get involved that they give, but um, they make a point that you have New Reno, which is town of uh, you know,
There's a
a
town of
town of
crime.
vice and sin.
It's a town of vice and sin. It's the dirtiest city in the new California Republic because canonically it eventually joins it.
Well, actually, no. It says here that they're an ally of the NCR.
Okay, so they have okay then. So
I don't see I don't see New Reno following the law and
no,
joining up with
if
you.
you're wondering, because the canonical take on this is they do eventually join as a state specifically because in exchange for doing this, gambling and prostitution is now legal in the NCR.
No, but then why? But then why do they go to New Vegas?
I don't know. I'm just highlighting that if I
Yeah.
recall correctly, New Reno canonically, because usually the main result is that the bishops win, and it's the bishops
Yes.
under the kid that you sire with either the daughter or the mother, and essentially they either, if I recall correctly, I think they become a state. They get entrapped into the
I'm
circle.
on the wiki here. Become an ally.
Okay, it is
Um,
an ally. Did they retcon it partially?
no, this was just in New Vegas.
That means they partially retconned it, I think.
I
It's
think
not the
I
end
don't
of the
know.
world. They partially
It's not.
retconned Necropolis. Remember how canonically that it was supposed to stay around, but then they got kicked out and
Yeah.
formed Gecko. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just
Oh,
like, oh, that's what happened.
yeah. So then, but you have then to the west, you've got the
Oh,
Sierra
speaking of which, there
Mountains.
is one other thing that I kind of do. They have the Environmental Protection Agency building because that was cut content from the original.
I don't know. We'll have to go through and see.
I kind of hope they do, since some interesting quest lines were dropped from that
Yeah.
one.
It's got so Mojave's got a very dry heat.
Well,
Rain's
yeah.
very rare. So in this area itself, you got primarily the Wrights, the most elevated of the three families in New Reno. Strong
Okay.
aversion to dealing drugs. They aren't afraid to use violence, and they control the alcohol trade. Since alcohol production isn't regulated by the NCR, this makes them a major trade partner for the caravans,
So yeah,
which stock.
canonically, what
Yeah,
happened was I know this much at least. There used to be four families. There was the Bishops, the Wrights, the Mordinos, and I forget the fourth ones.
Well, I'm here on the wiki, so
Mordinos was the third,
um,
and then there's the fourth one.
Salvatore's.
Salvatore's, yeah, thank you. The Salvatore's, if I recall correctly, worked with the Enclave. One of them,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
the
they work with the
Mordinos worked
Enclave,
on
and
Jet.
of course, they're getting fucking killed.
Yeah,
Probably
what
for that.
happens is the Chosen One fucking slaughters them. The Mordinos produce Jet and eventually get fucked over too. The survivors in the
No,
kerfuffle,
because well, no, I don't think it's the Mordinos, because the Mordinos.
Mordinos were one of them was Jet
Oh,
producers.
that's different. That's different from the rights. I'm getting confused here.
The Wrights are the booze guys. Basically, by the end of it, there's technically still four families, but in the end, it's more of a triad. Mordinos are still barely there, still peddling Jet. They're not really relevant anymore. The ones that are the bishops, which were the biggest among peers. Then
And
there was the
now
Wrights that are reliable booze makers, rum runners, and then you got the Van Graffs, which are probably more well known simply just because of what they do in New Vegas.
they refurbish laser and plasma weapons,
And they're not above icing people to make sure they keep
yeah,
the monopoly.
which is a pretty rare thing.
Hmm.
Um,
It's how they were able to buy their way into New Reno.
yeah.
Because what happened was after the Salvatores and Mordino's destruction, they basically bought their way in because they were the only guys that had plasma weapons.
Then you've got the New California Republic. Current crisis is with the Caesar's Legion. Troops are spread thin, and enforcement of NCR laws and norms is lax.
Well, yeah, because despite some arrangements
Oh,
with the
they do say,
NCR,
yeah, they do say here that New Reno and the surrounding communities are nominally part of the NCR,
yeah,
but they're not. There's not really much enforcement.
well, yeah, because you don't really want to look into a moneymaker.
Then we have the followers of the apocalypse, which followers suffer less political harassment than they do in the NCR cities, where they are sometimes derided as anarchists or communists.
Because that was the other thing. So interestingly enough, the followers of the apocalypse, their original founders might have actually been socialists. But
Reds.
they might have been, or at the
Yeah.
very least, unionists.
Then you have the Enclave, the remnants of a powerful government, military, industrial complex conspiracy.
I mean, they're basically like the Eldar of the faction, where they're always dying, and like losing a couple dozen is considered a tragedy, but they just
Well,
magically spawn more as needed.
I gotta think the majority of the military ended up just being with them, not because they were in on the whole plan, but more so their generals say, "We're going to this bunker."
Kind of yeah, kind of not. What was supposed to happen was it was a. So here's the problem with that. The original Enclave conspiracy was supposed to just be the top
A
like a
small,
thousand
yeah,
guys, top 1,000
yeah,
guys and gals, and they were supposed to essentially create their own vault on the Poseidon oil rig and maybe a couple of others if they couldn't get
yeah.
there in time. What happened is they were such a cool villain from the origin from Fallout 2 that they never fucking grew out of it. Bethesda, when they bought the rights, could never get out of that shadow. And I don't
Well,
blame them. The Enclave is an
yeah,
interesting concept, like a formerly, like the former government just being
uh,
evil.
yeah.
That's neat.
Well, the former government not only being, but like explicitly doing nothing to prevent the apocalypse, encouraging it even, and then coming and saying, "No, we're the true America." Though there is the other factor, which is when you finally had people like when they're finally mobilizing both in 2 and 3, they get deserters, which is to me an interesting on their psychology is that now that they're finally out in the open in the wasteland, you get a bunch of people that are like screw the military life. I quit.
Well, yeah, a lot of them after the shit show that was because remember, if you even mishandled your equipment, you had to pay that off, and you couldn't. Not over, not until you died.
Oh no, not until you were 510 years old.
Exactly. Oh, and another thing that you forgot about so some amazing things that the Fallout universe's government did. Invade Mexico specifically for their oil fields. No,
Invade
no, not
Canada.
just invade Canada. Commit essentially
Well,
their own version of the Holocaust up there, because what they had a habit of doing was rounding up civilians and then torching them or throwing them out in the cold to freeze to death. Basically, they went full fucking Einsatzgruppen on the Canadians because they kept fighting. and they kept shooting them. In fact, actually, if you play the male character from Fallout 4, it's hinted that the dude was. It was hinted that Nathan
No,
killed a lot of fucking Canadians.
it's a joke. Nate the Rake is a joke. But hey, I think every time you refer to him as Nate the Rake, that uh, Emil, the head writer, sheds a tear.
Well, I'm not the guy who made him a war hero in an invasion that basically Einsatz's group the fucking northern neighbor.
SS Canada free.
Like it's basically the unholy love child of the East Front in Vietnam. That's what we did to Canada in this timeline.
Was it
And that's
the
ignoring the
pine trees
death
are
war that
speaking?
was in the Yukon and Alaska
Also,
because
I'm wondering here what be is if then America's like French Quebec, you can be independent. And you just get the Quebecois just murdering the English Canadians.
that would have been smart. But remember, this is the Enclave. They're not smart. They're not smart at all.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: they
Um.
actually were coming close to cracking
I
not
guess
just
though. I
fusion.
guess though for our Canadian listeners, if there was an invasion of Canada and a country was proposing that they could set up the Quebecois as an independent state, and mind you, let's go with a bit of a 50s ideology here. What's the likelihood of the Quebecois going independent or fighting alongside their fellow Canadians?
I'm personally, I know that I'm an ignorant American, but my prediction is they would both be independent, but also be stupid enough to throw down with the U.S. while shooting other Canadians.
Yeah, I think that's the most fitting one.
Mainly just because
Uh,
these are also the same idiots that want to be independent, but also want to still rely on using the Canadian dollar and all of the beautiful government benefits that they get, even though they're independent. They want the benefit of independence, but with all of the ability of suckling off of the Confederation. And this is why Western Canada fucking loathes them and Ottawa.
but moving past every independent enclave in any country, the Raider
You say that,
tribes.
Squirrel, but I do remember the draft riots that happened in World War One. If you're wondering, the French volunteers in quotes rioted heavily
Yeah,
to the point where
I
Canada
could
had to sign a law that basically meant that they didn't. If I remember, I think Canada had to sign a law that basically slackened how much could be drafted just to avoid that again.
I could see though like the U.S. mandating things like abolishment of the metric system. You can no longer use
I will say,
British
however, that
writing.
I would probably say, yeah, the Quebecois would probably fight both, but mostly the U.S.
Now, it would be funny if then we did the same thing like during the War of 1812. We just have Native
I
American
mean,
tribes.
you say that, but we actually tried working with the Quebecois, but we fucked that up during the Revolution.
Yeah. So also they in the end they give us Raider tribes.
There's a
Greater
bunch of them,
the great concept kicked out. There's the Vipers and the Jaggers, a
which this
group
is a
of
new one. I
that
think this is
yeah
a new idea,
from this is new, from old timber camps in the mountains.
which is a neat idea.
So the campaign begins with your character is finding the body of Courier 12.
One of the
She
couriers. Yep.
well, a courier. I don't think it's one of
It's not one of the seven. It's
yeah.
one of the newer. It's one of the other ones.
So and you can find a note, and the note reads, Mr. Bishop, the NCR is currently heavily engaged along the southeastern front. All of the troops that you have seen moving through New Reno from Reading and Vault City are scheduled for deployment to Hoover Dam, and the Ranger outpost outside of the dam. Further support for New Reno is both strategically and unnecessarily unavailable. If you continue to have problems with local tribal raiders, I recommend that you engage the services of mercenary contractors with your family's financial resources. Furthermore, our local intelligence reports that rumors of Legion activity in your region are inaccurate. If, however, you should discover an actual Legion patrol in your area, I recommend that you engage them with the legendary entertainment resources of your city. After 2 days, they should be capless and unable to walk straight. Yours, General Lee Oliver.
Oh, also, if Enclave is the true America and we are the true Enclave, like the Enclave Civil War idea, I've actually seen that I've seen that experimented with a few times. One of the more interesting ideas is besides the enclave, I've heard of there's this neat idea called the exclave, which were military figures that were semi-aware that the U.S. government was probably going to just zone out. They weren't part of the plan, but they heard some funny rumors, so they essentially banded together to try to form their own thing, mainly using army bases in the South as an interesting idea that you could do
Hmm.
for like a Fallout South, Dixie. Like there's an exclave, which is actual former military. Another interesting idea is this is based on another fan idea, is that the two political parties were called the Freedom and Liberty Party. The Liberty and Freedom Party, one being essentially the hyper Republican 19, the hyper Republican crazy unholy love child of Bush and like 50s era paranoia, and,
Oh,
and
so the John Birch, so neocons, but also the John Birch Society.
which is formed the bulk of the enclave. But then the idea of the Liberty Party is an unholy love child of the Democratic Party and libertarians, which culminates in them. And I don't mean the good Democrats. I'm talking the George Wallace Democrats, which was why one of the ideas I've heard from this is they want to make their own version of the vaults that are just to store their property, aka the work servants that they turn into slaves. If you so they want to bring back slavery, low key, because they're
Hmm.
ANCAPs. They're basically unholy ANCAPs.
But we're abolishing the 13th Amendment, but it's not gonna be racist.
Yeah, basically, you could do a lot of
Because
neat
wait, no, it's not
ideas.
gonna be racist. Although, oh no, they can't abolish the 13th Amendment. We just don't classify the wastelanders as human.
Basically,
They're not
emphasize like
citizens.
traits of the American psyche to like their worst degree from the 50s, and that's a neat
Or
idea
the
you can
no,
do with.
yeah, yeah, throw out like the Know Nothing Party or something like that. Um,
And you can have like these little civil wars. I do like the idea though of like parts of the military did the same thing and essentially want to run like as the American Cincinnatus, when in
hmm,
reality they're just Caesar and did it with Caesar with budget.
yeah. So they then give you various options if you get this letter. You could send it to New Reno, send it to perhaps Vault City, um, try to deliver it for an award. You could try to give it to the Legion, but technically, Oliver's intelligence is correct. There are no Legion around here.
Yeah.
They do give a NCR dollar exchange rate, which is essentially uh, a 2-for-1. NCR dollars, uh, 2 NCR dollars for 1 cap.
So yeah, here's the thing. I'm kind of sad that they're not including the. They might include the Caesar's exchange rate, but yeah, caps and
Yeah, but it wouldn't be here because
they're not in this area at all.
yeah,
But I do like that they highlight that yeah, the NCR does have a dollar exchange because in New Vegas, and well, it makes
yeah,
sense. You wouldn't
and
need
and there
caps if you have a
yeah,
mint.
and there's a good uh artwork on page 65 of the classic big-bodied Mordinos
Oh, also,
or
Guy
the
von Dudstein
bishops.
is very sad that there are no new Canaanites as an option. Yeah,
No, not here. I think they
no, there should
might
be.
have stuff.
There
You
there
could
should have been.
modify it later, but
No, no, there should have
um,
been, and here's why. A lot of Nevada and a lot of northern Arizona. I mean, yeah, the Legion's kicking their ass, but a lot of that region has Mormons. There would be new
hmm,
Canaanites here. That is a mistake on their part. I think what happened though is they forgot that Mormons are outside of Utah.
hmm,
That's a mistake on their part, but I do think you are correct. There should have been a new Canaanite origin.
yeah. So
Because
you
because
can
think about it like this. Then you can just if you have a player that really likes the character, they could just totally go Burned Man 2.0. We can't expect God to do all the work.
but then you have they're referencing all the good bits from the Shark Club, and you go see Mr. Bishop.
Yeah, I mean the Shark Club. There. I mean, you could also, if you feel like it,
Yeah.
you can go into the
Wait,
boxing ring. There's the murder
yeah,
boxing ring.
here. Mr. Bishop is a mysterious figure rumored to be a descendant of a
What
visitor
page
to
are you
New
on, by the
Reno,
way? Because this book is not well formatted in this regard.
um, who had a dalliance with a member of the Bishop family. Though he took it over as a young teen, he proved an able businessman, politician, equally capable of violence. Ah, my son.
Yep. So I think I'm at the right spot. Apologies.
Yeah,
It's just like you're kind of jumping, and this thing's not exactly the easiest to signpost into. After you have your questions answered, Mr. Bishop suggests they have some refreshments because, yeah, you can get some refreshments here.
yeah. Wine, whiskey, New Cola, water.
No Sunset Sarsaparilla?
Um, I don't think it wasn't a California thing.
He's rich enough he should be able to get his hands on some. And also, he's pretty close to New Vegas. I don't think it's unreasonable.
Eh. But
And,
you're
and
then
also,
basically
think about it like
given.
this. One of the beauties of root beer, although Nuka Cola would probably also work for this, you can
Yeah.
make a good mixer out of that.
Yeah. So then you do have
You have
the ability,
alternatives for this, yeah,
like you could give the evidence to like the rights, which then comes to the attention of Mr. Bishop.
which could be very interesting.
So it is railroading in a way, but they at least give the opportunity.
It's a bit lame that they're railroading. It kind of shows they're not as but it's also they're trying to keep this under a certain amount of pages. Uh,
Also,
but hey
hey
there,
Jeremy,
Jimmy. So far this book ain't too bad. I'd say it's pretty solid for what it is.
and they give a whole bunch of scenes that you can do with like meeting the Lindy, the local gravedigger,
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of those.
or
Chem addicts,
um,
wannabe filmmaker, because the other thing is New Reno is the site of essentially what's left of the entertainment industry.
especially the adult entertainment industry.
Oh yeah, you can be. Oh yeah, if you meet the very
You
stringent
could,
standards of the directors, you can become either a fluffer or a dude that actually rails or gets railed.
yeah. Uh,
That is
which
something from the
apparently
original game.
they were able to start a franchise in New Vegas. Going by the show.
I'm not surprised, given that this is also the place where there's like brothels and shit. Because New Vegas also had that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Let's
You can run
see.
into a ghoul. Lindy's a ghoul, and
Hmm.
here she is. You can read this text too. Why are you here? I think it's because of the. What is it? What's the point of this character?
Lindy,
Yeah.
to provide offbeat levity and a memorable character, and
Okay.
either to help with like carry her on her travels, because she does have a high intelligence. Uh,
I was just. Oh, she's a supplier. Okay. I was just
yeah.
wondering because that is a bit of a weakness in this book. Like they introduced her as an NPC, and it just kind of doesn't ping to me like what their purpose was initially.
Basically, the new Reno here is to start yourself off as
It's your
the
supply
starting
zone. I know
area.
that. I know that. It's
Supply
just
zone to get a bit of XP, do a few side
it's
quests.
just what they didn't do with the character sheet is they didn't highlight that their purpose was to sell things.
Yeah.
You get what I
Like,
mean? Like they
yeah.
don't have that, which makes it kind of a pain in the ass to know which like you can't just look on the spot and see, oh yeah, this is one of the supply guys. Also, speaking of
Also,
which, cannibalism.
yeah. Also, Guy, we did not cover the core rule book. We were thinking of doing that, but it is a bit massive.
It's very chunky, it's very thick. It is mechanically fine. It does take place in the Commonwealth. I don't mind the Commonwealth, but a settlement needs your help.
Let's see. I do like here the cannibals. The enemies are young humans who have the bright idea of picking off strangers and slicing their corpses for kebabs, inspired by the tale of Doc Morbid that one of them read in Tales of a Junktown Jerky
Which is a
Vendor.
nod to the original game. That's a
Yeah,
nod to one of the one of
the
the side
youths,
quests you can
and it says
get.
there, the youths do realize that if they're caught, they will be crucified at Golgotha, which is a area in New Reno.
Interesting. I'm not surprised that crucifixion's back. It feels like a Kaiser's Legion sort of thing, though. You know.
Uh, let me see, Golgotha. Golgotha, it's a graveyard, but
I
it's got
know
a
that.
road in the shape of a
I know
cross.
that, but I feel like hanging would have made more sense. You know.
It's Golgotha.
I don't care.
That's the.
I don't care.
It's literally where Jesus was
You
crucified.
can symbolism that all the fuck you want, but the crucifixion thing's much more of a Kaiser's Legion. That's on them. That's on them. When I think of New Reno, I think of getting shot with a Tommy gun until you're filled full of holes, or strung up on a lamppost.
So
I get the symbolism. I
yeah.
just don't think it works for this bit.
So let's see. So there's another quest here.
Also, this dude's about to lose a foot and possibly his life.
Yep. You get uh, opportunities to perhaps work with the Crimson Caravan Company,
Yep, you can also run into Snake Eyes.
which can give you a whole bunch of stuff like a pipe gun, mute fruit, stim packs, a set of clothing.
I'm surprised they got their hands on mute fruit all the way over here.
Mute fruit was in the first game.
It was?
Yes.
I could have swore it was a Fallout 4 thing.
No, it was. It just is mutated fruit. It's just classified as fruit in Fallout 1 and 2, but it's this. It's that
Okay.
green looking
Yeah, I know kind of
thing.
that there's something like that, but the mute fruit, like when I think of mute fruit, I mostly think of the generico ones you run into in the Commonwealth, since this is. I know
Yeah,
this is like New Vegas area, but this is more of a
they
Commonwealth
all
thing.
they all have it. It's sort of like it's just a generic understanding
Fair
of
enough.
a mutated fruit. It
You can also get credit,
um
which is pretty neat.
yeah.
This is
Uh
basically, if you're wondering, this is your starting area. New Reno is pretty darn cool. It's one of the better spots in Fallout 2, in my opinion. I'm
mhm.
glad they start here.
So
And here's the Crimson
they then
Caravan Guards, which are decently stronger.
uh
Keyword being decently. Level 3 still ain't
also,
much.
guy, we might have to check out the pre-made adventure. There's a few adventures that I know
The
they've
pre-made
made
adventure
them.
from the core rulebook ain't too shabby. I don't mind doing that.
Also, Jimmy, the date for the game here is 2280.
And
So if you actually
essentially,
do, yeah, if you don't, there is a time limit to the point where if you do kind of waste your time, Fallout New Vegas happens
mhm.
with
Which
some
does lead to the
unfortunate
funny idea
complications.
that if you get there on the right time, they could run into the courier, and you could just make the courier whatever the hell you want, which can lead to some very interesting things. Imagine they run into the courier and they have the terrifying perk. Just imagine
Oh,
the fun dialogue you could do to traumatize them.
yeah. And actually, if I considering the limit is, oh, you need to get 1 through 5 successes. To not shit your pants, you need 10 successes.
So you're just going along, and then you just silently hear whispering behind you, "Come to my parlor, come to my
Well, no,
parlor,"
no,
said
you
the
hear
sting spider
John
to its bloat fly.
Johnny Guitar. You just see a guy in a ranger outfit
With
with
a scar on top of their head.
yeah, with a robo dog and a NCR veteran who just says, "My wife is dead," and you just see the courier just stare at you
Or
as you hear
alternatively,
Johnny Guitar.
no, or alternatively, as a maximum shitpost, because you can dress him however you want. You just dress him in the most ridiculous fucking outfit you can.
He's in the spaceman outfit.
He's in the spaceman, inexplicably in the spaceman outfit. Has a plasma gun in one hand,
Or no. You're sleeping and you hear Johnny Guitar, and then he's got that gun pointed at you in that outfit.
and he's chugging from his vault from his trusty
He
canteen.
repeat, yeah. Even though here's the thing, there's no opening in the suit, so he just pours it down him,
No, no,
and he's just staring at you. He's not taking anything from you. He's just staring.
no, no, and then better yet, you run into him again. He's just standing in the same place, and he's not moving at all for like an hour before he starts moving robotically away.
No, and then he takes out the gun from waste from Old World Blues and just vanishes. You have no idea who he is.
You
What
also
just happened?
you then run into him later on, and then you find a dismantled atomic bomb. Because remember, in Wild Wasteland, you can run into a failed to launch nuclear bomb.
Or if you or if you're doing or considering we have no idea what happened to the Lone Wanderer, you just have the Lone Wanderer show up, who's also insane, except he's in winterized T-51B power armor. He's at the same time as the guy's holding you up. You just see another guy with uh playing the Onga Bonga Bonga I Don't Want to Leave the Congo song, and he's got the Gauss rifle pointed at you.
You're traveling down the long 15, and then you just start hearing gunfire in Prim. You visit Prim, and then you just see a bunch of raiders getting thrown out of the building dead, and then this guy silently steps out of it, covered in bullet holes and not bothered by it, like a fucking Terminator, and then leaves.
Oh, it's funny. But just going back to the main quest here, you're supposed to have done at least 3 side quests,
Oh no, there is one more
and
thing, NDR. You gave me a funny idea. You know how you can also speed loot people by giving them new clothes and shit? You see him just speed dress someone in a different outfit after stealing their clothes. Like you can in the fucking game. Sorry about that. That's just like there's a lot of funny shit you can just have with just
yeah,
the
no,
courier.
you try to attack him. Somehow your head, groin, and eyes are hit at the same time,
Oh, and also you now have a detonation slave collar attached to your throat.
and a live grenade in your pocket.
Also, oh no, no, a live grenade in your underpants in case he stole your clothes.
So, primarily, then this main quest here is to encounter the Jaggers, the raiders from the mountains,
Well, you
and see
also
if you
run
can
into the
either,
Vipers as well.
yeah, offer them either like trade your party's goods to lead the
Oh, they're
caravan of
false
touch,
Vipers.
offer a target, and yeah, it says here one of them shouts "Cobra" as he runs at you in a plain silver mask. Unfortunately, no, that's not here. That would be funny though.
That feels like something they do in Fallout 2.
Though, yeah, if the characters don't have a Viper initiative with them, they won't recognize the raiders as anything but Vipers. Or you could just be a Soprano shitpost. We're with the Vipers.
Also, pristine weapons are noted that they have an off-the-shelf quality, meaning they are reliable. Also, pristine weapons have a higher cap value. So after the Vipers are killed, you can get some info out of it.
Yeah, and you figure out there's actually some old Vipers in town, so you'd go talk to those Vipers.
This is
They
basically,
want
did you get a
yeah,
Viper to join you? No? Well, here's how you
no,
can figure this out.
yeah. Neheb Leatherman. So he'll help you out as long as you help him with his distillery, and he works with the followers, so helping out with the followers as well.
Well, yeah, his distiller, because the thing is, this is what makes the Rights a mob. Uh, any guy that is not on the take with them when it comes to making booze, they will fuck with.
Yeah. And then he directs you to other areas where apparently caravans have been attacked, such as Virginia City, Carson, and Tahoe,
Don't
which directs you
I don't know if you
to.
ever go to Carson in Fallout 2.
No, you don't. But
Makes sense though.
yeah, they allow you to then also encounter raiders on motorcycles, a mid-sized two-seater.
Yeah, you have to do this. Like if you have the ability to do this in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, you have to
Oh, and
do this.
they have crossbows. This is
You
oh,
have
this is a
to.
Mad Max reference.
You have to. I'd be disappointed if they didn't, honestly.
Methanol fueled bikes.
You know if Bethesda had the ability to get vehicles to work correctly, they would have fucking done it.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad about that. I'm just highlighting you kind of have to. If you're in a desert wasteland shithole and you don't have a dude covered in scrap armor on a four-wheeler or motorcycle, what have you done?
Yeah, that's kind of why if there is a post-apocalypse, you know for a fact in America, some people are just going to do that to recreate Fallout.
Straight up, you're gonna run into someone who's wearing like a vault suit for no reason with a bat covered in barbed wire, and then you find their corpse 2 days later.
So someone's going to, if they could set up a community, it's like, yeah, we're going to start trading in bottle caps. They do have
Oh,
something though, as a sort of
oh
side
yeah, if
quest,
you
is
manage
if
to kill
you
them, you can get their motorcycles.
and their journal, in which they're trying to find the Hidden Valley Country Club, which is in the remains of Reno.
Oh, that's a nice little
Or no,
side
you
quest
found the
idea.
yeah, where you can find mutant hounds, and find various items like stim packs, a machine gun, a laser gun. So you're still then pointed into the idea that there's something else going
There's something
on.
hinky, and it
That the
eventually turns out it's probably the Jaggers doing this.
So you encounter the Jaggers.
And you go to Lake
You
Tahoe,
go,
which is very lovely.
yeah,
Look at that. Look at that.
which they do give you. The largest. Let's see what it says here. Um, Seat at the height of the mountain pass connects part of the northern part of the NCR from west and east.
Essentially, this is
Uh,
one of the spots where most of the nukes missed, partially because of House, partially just because the couple that were aimed this way were duds.
and it does say population 66. Um, does not seem to be, I'd say, an NCR.
Oh no, it's out in the sticks. There's no one really
Yeah.
here.
So you then have to deal with the Jaggers, and they do have, or they do. The town has a important defensive placement, a non-drivable MIM-72 mobile missile launcher,
That
a tracked missile carrier.
that's fantastic. Those things. They're a bit of a nod to some pretty nasty shit.
Surface to air missiles. Yeah,
Yeah. As for fighting the Jaggers, well, Ripsaw has well over a couple dozen of them. They don't
35 of them.
outnumber
Yeah.
them, but they're definitely nastier than the town.
So you could try to kill him, like
You,
assassinate
you could
him.
greasy strangle him, yes.
Like they do that. They also give poisonous food, smuggle an explosive into his bedroom, sneak into his room while he's asleep, putting an end to him quickly.
Hijacking the missile launcher to throw fucking missiles at him. Fantastic.
This is a Fallout quest
That's good.
that I would see in any of the games.
This feels like
Maybe
something.
not 4.
This feels like something that I don't know if this is from a quest line that was cut from somewhere, but this does feel like a really good Fallout quest. I like it a lot. Also, you get his.
Um,
If you don't blow him up, you get his unique power. You get power sword basically. Look at that thing.
no, that's a Ripper.
It's a ripper.
It's a chainsword, technically. Well, actually, no. It is more like a one-handed chainsaw.
Yeah, it's a chainsword. Fantastic.
He insists on calling the town Tahoe. He states the signage wouldn't have the final E if there was no reason for it in the name. It's just that the locals must be wrong in the pronunciation.
I think
He
he would just
declares
try to kill all
himself.
of the Englishmen
Yeah.
if he was stuck in
Wait.
England. You should see
He
how they
plans to.
pronounce their names.
He claims to declare himself the Lumber King of Tahoe once his position is sufficiently entrenched to force the NCR to negotiate with him. He
Uh,
does lack the means to hold up against the NCR long term.
I kind of like that this guy's an idiot. He's basically the underpants gnomes
I
of
mean,
raiders. Step
I
one,
actually
kill
will.
everyone in Tahoe. Step two,
Yeah.
step three, profit.
And once you're done with that, if you go directly to Mr. Bishop with the information, uh, about what happened, he gives you a replica priceless highwayman.
That might have been from his real dad.
He acquired it from a collector who lovingly restored it before unwisely losing it in a high stakes casino game. Oh, what did the chosen one do?
Here's the thing though about that. I'm just kind of envisioning in my head. If this was Fallout 2, they would have added a bit of dark comedy he mentions it and you can actually find outside of the casino his skeleton with a hole in
Oh,
the head from self-inflicted shot.
well, out of that, you just find all of the loot that I ended up storing in there because of that. Because hey,
That would have also
no
been
carry
cute.
weight.
That would have also been cute is you just open the trunk and it's like here's all of the loot that your chosen one had.
Oh, look, they have an image.
I like that they just
Dun
took the
dun
sprite.
dun dun dun.
I love that they just kind of upscaled the sprite. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who is Chodai?
Let's see. attempts to pull them into the Virginia City side quest.
And I like that. They
Um,
also here are some other lines if they get distracted. Here's like a side quest that they can do. I kind of
yeah.
like that.
So, should they repair by some means, and they don't leave it in the other hands of a faction, the 72, find themselves in control of not only a highly dangerous weapon, but incredibly resilient method of travel. Oh my god!
Yeah, you could totally. So you could get this car. You can get the Chrysler Highwayman, and then you could go full armored caravan, just
The
blasting
NC
Command and
here's the thing,
Conquer
because of
music as you
this.
go across the wasteland.
So the initial attempts from all the factions are diplomatic. If that fails, theft, ambush, frontal assault, or a squad of rangers, including one member. This is from the NCR. One member in power armor deployed via airdrop from a vertibird, and that's all without the Brotherhood of Steel hearing about it.
Yeah.
The thing is, yeah, they have fun with the missiles. They only have 4 missiles. But I guess with this, they now finally get you to uh, explore
Also, after
New
all, they
Reno
only have
itself.
4 missiles. How bad could it get?
Yeah.
5 sessions later, they make a dirty bomb that blows up Shady Sands, just like the TV show.
So
I'm sorry, that
interesting.
like when they did that, that just kind of
It's
I get it, but it's so dumb. It's
it
so
is so
dumb.
dumb. But you know what? We gotta live
It
with it.
took me out of the show. Like, here's the thing: it's fine. It's fine if you can ignore it. It's still fine. I don't know if it'll eat shit like Stranger Things did,
Yeah.
but here's more about New Reno.
What?
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. What fuel does it use? I think it just uses oil.
Oh, you're talking about the Chrysler Highwayman?
No, not no, the MIM 72.
They specified it, but I didn't pay attention. I think it used corn oil.
Yeah. Maybe. But I
Let me
do
double
like
check.
here
I can go
with,
up. It's not a big deal. What
yeah,
type of fuel does it
with New
use?
Reno, population is only 3,000. The
Do
town
they
pays
mention the
taxes
fuel?
to the NCR, although it's somehow a smaller amount than they should owe. You know that
Uh, yeah,
when
it's
the
your
NCR,
standard fuel. Okay, sorry, I just wanted to
yeah,
look.
when the NCR collapsed, uh, that yeah, they stopped paying their taxes.
Well, yeah.
Oh, they also had here. There's a the pre-war university is in ruin, but there's a rebuilt remnant of a geology and mineralogy industry
Where are
to
we?
help this. Page 98,
Thank you. Sorry, I just got distracted because I was looking at the fuel.
which actually does explain where they get the concrete, brick, and ceramics.
It does help.
Uh, you get, let's see, T-Ray's Chop Shop,
Which, if I
which
recall
is
correctly, was a
that's where we get.
location that never. It was a location in 2. I don't know if you did anything in it.
I think that's where you initially got Chop Shop. Uh, it's only accessible once you acquire the Highwayman. This is if your
Yeah.
car gets stolen.
Yeah, and on top of that, this is if you want to repair it simple, you can take the missile launcher there. It's just the family will legitimately threaten you with your life if you if you try to leave without it.
Then there's the clinic. This is new from as they established only a few years ago. The NCR outpost
This is where most of the influence of the NCR is, and it's massively overworked.
with Ranger Priya Singh. Good on them for having Indian descent. Bringing up Shady Sands. You've got two degrees Maverick Jackson,
More
human,
confident
and
than competent, and
yep,
Rusty
and
Squid,
Rusty Squim, a ghoul with a knack for science, uses a modified laser gun. Then there is Golgotha.
which is the cemetery. Which, yeah, I understand the crucifixion metaphor. It doesn't make
Oh
sense to
yeah,
me
no,
for the
they
prop.
outright criminals are sometimes executed here by hang or crucifixion.
The crucifixion thing, I'm just not like. I get it; it's
Occasionally, yeah,
symbolic, but
occasionally, yeah, the families just march someone out here and shoot them in the head.
hanging and the shooting in the ditch makes much more sense to me. I'm sorry, I know it's
It
symbolic.
is.
It's just that's more of a Kaiser's
Um,
Legion thing, you know.
and they do say here, gauge the temperature of your players. Don't just keep going with, hey, there's or there's prostitutes, drugs, and gamblers.
Hey, you see a person dying of an overdose of jet on the floor.
And they do give us plenty of side quests, including super mutants. Ellen, Maxie, and Pei Pei. These are super mutants from the Master.
Oh, yeah, quite a few of them survived because they're not quite immortal, but they're very long-lived.
Yeah.
And these are members of the original Master's army because here's the thing, the original Vault Dweller did not kill all of them. It was not possible.
Also, we don't know how big that army was. I guarantee he sacked at least one vault, I think.
He plundered at least one vault, and remember, the longer you take to get to him, the more settlements he has to render his army.
Yep.
It's a pretty
And
big
so,
fucking army.
yeah, let's see. And so they're trying to, uh, you know, trying to live on their own because, yeah, they do also get attacked by humans.
Yeah, that's the other
But they
thing.
do have to,
Super mutants, because of what they did over in the West, and also just because look at them, they're ostracized. And while they sometimes try to avoid causing trouble, basically they weren't just mindless orcs.
yeah,
They were
I,
not
I
just
like, yeah,
brainless monster people like 3 and to a lesser degree 4 played them.
yeah.
A lot of them were,
I,
but not all of them.
I like this here. Ellen always wears a checkered scarf around her neck. Maxie paints her fingernails in bright colors. And Pei Pei still has black hair that she ties into a pair of buns.
Oh yeah, because they may have been turned into looking like men, but not every super mutant was. Quite a few of them were women that were forcibly dipped.
And then they're trying to find their um, one of their members that was attacked by red scorpions and trying to get into the city. To do that.
Yep, and there's some
Also, I
fallouts.
did
If you
say the East Coast supermutants. It is interesting because it does show that kind of the pre-war government was experimenting on them, but
yeah,
there's also the fact that they keep growing in size.
yeah, and they're boring. Who cares?
Yeah, yeah, that is a bit of an issue. They've done some stuff recently. They've got the in Fallout 76, they've got the Rust King who's ruling over a raider gang
That's
in
not
Ohio.
terrible. And I'll say this: 4 at least half-assed it with strong.
The milk of human kindness.
I say half-assed because the concept's interesting. They just didn't do enough with it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not that I have issues with them adding super mutants fucking everywhere. It's just you have to do something
Yeah.
with them. Otherwise, it's just, hey, look, it's another monster to hit in it.
So that they do give here that you could have the mutants
You can just straight up kill them and
reoccur.
you get rewarded for
Yeah.
that.
You get rewarded well either way.
Yeah,
They also
fantastic.
can give you a golf club, and I do like that there are modifications, like a bladed heavy or a spiked golf club.
Have you seen what you can do with a golf club?
Um,
The Last of Us 2 and the television show showed us what you can do with one.
no, I would have said Bioshock. I mean, after all, a man chooses and a slave obeys.
No, you're referencing something good. I'm referencing something
Yeah,
infamously shit.
let's see.
It's the same thing, just
Um,
a different approach.
you can help. There's other things. You can help the clown Benson White. Yes, there's a clown. He's getting beat up from a pair of goons.
Oh, also, recurring mutants. So here's the thing: if you save them, if you help the super mutants out, they can appear throughout the rest of the quest. Like if you have more mutant characters, you could just use them instead, like as a reoccurring assistant character. Helping a clown is very Fallout, by the way.
Yeah.
Strong's is a whatever character, but think I'm comparing him to the shititude that was Fallout 3. The super mutants in
You
there were
puny
fucking
human.
boring.
I kind of like the different color to distinguish them.
Yeah, I don't. They're just so
Uh,
forgettable. They're just monster you hit with stick.
Oh, you can get as a weapon from the clown, or at least you can use it. Weighted rubber chicken,
Yeah, that's an early Fallout
spiked.
reference.
Um, Fool's golden gloves. So yeah, you can. Let's see. I
Oh, so yeah,
believe.
the bladed juggling pins are pretty fucking baller. No, I like the side quests. These feel more like Fallout 2 than 3, but I think that's fitting because we're in New Reno. Because Fallout 2 had a lot of silly ones. Like, remember, one of the quests you got in Fallout 2 was helping Scientology kill themselves in their rocket to meet God.
We don't want to get sued. It's Hubology.
Can I still be on maybe internet star too? I want to be on the internet too, Dad.
Sure, welcome to
All
New
right.
Reno, Biggs. We still got a while to go because we're only halfway through. Holy shit. I ain't complaining. I'm enjoying
No,
this book so far.
it's fun.
So I forgot to ask, is this an official Fallout product
It
or is
is
this a
official.
fan made content?
It is
This is
Fallout.
officially licensed from Modiphius.
It is the Fallout Royal Flush, which, by the way, in the description link, I linked it to where you can get a copy of it. And if you really like New Vegas, or if you're not a fan of the Commonwealth setting, I actually recommend, like, if you're like, I don't really care about the Commonwealth, get this book. I do recommend this one if you really want to play a
Yeah.
Fallout game. This is really good. And here's the thing, I think how they handled the Commonwealth in the RPG book ain't that bad either, because they actually try to work with what they have and build a little more. It's not as good as this one so far, but it's still nice.
So
I
yeah.
like it.
So there are a few other side quests like dealing with Meyer lurks near Lake Tahoe.
Well, yeah, because
Um,
there's a bunch of them. That is something I do like. So this is something from Fallout 4 that I do like. Mirelurks were not just the product of like the FEV getting. No, it's just they were around before the bombs fell, just because of how fucking disastrous the water supply was. Like, it's radiated, polluted. They went hard on just America dumping its waste into the ocean, and I love that. Like, the first Mirelurks came like decades before, like a couple decades before the bomb.
yeah,
I like
it
that. Also, these are Mirelurk hatchlings. Those are little guys you can stomp on.
oh, I hate just because they pop out. You got to melee them.
Yeah.
Nasty little buggers.
Yeah, that's a problem with Fallout 4. He kind of just expects you to go with the flow. Um, and the Institute as a concept is neat. Like, MIT going evil is neat.
But
They don't do enough with it. And they're
like,
just
I
kind
would
of
love.
evil for evil's sake.
There's a lot of design choices that I would really like to sit down with the developers and be like, what was the intent here?
I understand the intent
Because
of the Institute, because the
yeah,
way I would describe it is a more politically motivated, insane, big empty.
well, their tagline is "Mankind Redefined."
Yeah.
The whole. The other thing I also point them as, you know, all of the amoral science that was going on, like in the 40s and the 50s,
Well, I mean, that's
Tuskegee
why they did that.
Airmen, thalidomide,
Well,
Stanley,
well,
the Stanley
remember
Milgram.
that what's his name, Doctor Braun from. This is one of the
Yeah,
few Fallout 3 things I think was actually clever. One of the creators of the vaults.
was just a fucking mad scientist.
Yeah, he was completely immoral. Like,
But yeah, basically, it's we can do this science because we can, and because we're underground, we don't care about the consequences. So, like, you see up above with the super mutants, or with they just replace people with the synths, and you can see how, like in um not
them doing the super mutant thing, I think, is dumb.
what was the main city? The main city
Diamond
in
City, which is based in
Diamond
Park.
City, where you literally have a guy shooting somebody at, like holding a gun to his brother who he's convinced is a synth, and I don't remember if that guy's a synth or not.
He was.
But even so, he was, but the brother gets killed. And the whole thing with the synths is they don't know they're synthetic.
Well, some of them do.
But
What was
yeah,
the point again for the Institute doing that? Were they just playing a game of musical chairs for shits and giggles? I
So,
still don't remember.
well,
honestly, kind of.
kind of, yeah. So what happened was the Institute, when the bombs fell, they were able to survive because they were able to build their own bunker system, because the U.S. government didn't really appreciate academics that just did stuff like soft-hearted communist gobbledygook dribble. And a lot of the MIT guys, well, they were in it to help with humanity, right? So what happened was they had to dig into the hole in the ground, and then they saw what the fuck happened above in the Commonwealth. They saw these people essentially shit the bed. So what they decided to do was they went with humanity's not really destined to fucking save itself. We're fucked. We're going to have to replace it with something better because essentially what happened was the survivors of this institution took massive black pills because they were part of a transhumanist cult. Now, my problem with it is I think it would have been smarter if you played them as chess masters who basically did this because they were terrified of what a united Commonwealth could do, in particular to them. And
Yeah,
the reason
and
they're
more
terrified
so.
about that is have it be like in the backstory, they tried to contact them. Maybe they even contacted the initial Minutemen, and they were killed for it. And
There's also the fact too that they have a version of the FEV just laying around in their lab.
the fact
No
that they
matter
just
where we
spawn
can go in
super
this,
mutants to fuck with the Commonwealth is just stupid. I don't like that.
I mean,
because no matter where we go in this fucking setting, there just has to be super mutants forever.
kind of.
It's an interesting villain concept. Like, it's the interesting beginning of a villain concept. It is no master. I'm sorry. It's just the Institute as a concept of it being former MIT gone rogue. Nice idea. Nice idea. That's basically what the Big MT was.
Hell, having the Brotherhood be more intact, having the
I
Brotherhood be in the
applauded them
villains
for
probably
doing
would have
that.
been better.
No, they kind
Yeah,
of did. I applauded them for doing that. They were much closer to what they were in the first two games. They actually stole tech. Like, they did not want you to have anything that could potentially cause damage. I liked that. That actually is closer to what they were. 3 was an aberration in that regard.
And it kind of makes sense then of like, yeah, they actually were an aberration, and Lions is politically unpopular.
Which is why there's the evil faction of them in 3 that people forget about.
Oh, the Outcast? No, I gave him the fucking power armor and shit. That's how you get my fucking stim packs. Plus, they had the nice colors. I like their colors.
Also, they're more accurate to the boss anyway.
Yeah. So, continuing on though with
After
our
Cuckoo smashed the Beatles,
various
there's
quests.
Carson.
So Carson, it's a larger settlement than Tahoe.
The Ghoul Desperado image is really
Yep.
nice.
337. Rustic buildings of new haphazard construction. The town sheriff is Black Eye, a ghoul who has won 8 gunfights, but still means of getting shot and simply shrugging off before plucking the enemy.
Dude, I know, guy. I know that Big MT evil. Like, they're just amoral psychos anyway. I'm just saying, by comparison, the Institute makes them look cuddly by comparison.
Because bear in mind,
because they don't know that what they're doing is evil. They just wanted to quote from Jurassic Park. They're so busy thinking about what they could do that they didn't ever think of what they should do. The Institute, no, they evil max. They intentionally set up the shit show that was Diamond City and the super mutant assaults and shit like that. The Cazadors were an accident. The super mutants were on purpose.
Yeah. So you've got the Black Eye, the Sheriff Carson. The quest here though revolves around Jetstream.
So we got a crazy Brazilian samurai man with a robot arm.
No. Yeah, no, it's not Jetstream, Sam. It is jet. It's a type of jet. It is a modified dose that's produced in Silver Springs.
Okay.
So trying to help resolve. So Carson here, you're trying to help resolve the chems, crisis. Then next up, you can go to Virginia City, tiny outpost 26 miles southeast of New Reno. Population of less than 100, no industry to speak of, but the residents wear old-fashioned clothing, such as cravats and top hats, and affect mannerisms probably to the 1850s rather than the 1950s.
Given that I want to talk and make fun of the hollow ones eventually, that's bringing back horrible memories.
Dueling is legal here. Insulted individuals may demand satisfaction.
Oh, wait, dipshits.
Well,
dueling was banned at this time period, but, go ahead.
Well, yeah, while NCR law would consider this murder, it goes unenforced locally, and nobody from the NCR is around to interfere.
Fantastic.
They have undamaged Victorian houses. Now, I'm going to look up Virginia City.
I don't think they do. I really
Nevada.
don't think they do.
I'm assuming it's in Nevada.
They don't clarify. Southeast of
Virginia
New
City
Reno.
is a historic town in Story County, Nevada. Many historic buildings survive. It is associated with Mark Twain. Um,
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fan. I've gotten better on Victorian era period pieces as a whole. I just think they're lame. I think they're lame. They're overdone. Put Pride and Prejudice in the toilet where it belongs.
yeah, but yeah, so they do have these historic buildings. That is why.
I'm
Um,
already tuning out. But we'll cover the side quest if you want. But I already hate this location.
it basically it's instead of pseudo 50s, it's pseudo Victorians. But they do mix it up with their traditions. So they'll have
It's a murder
well
mystery.
dressed, yeah, well dressed gentlemen in dancing to recordings of violent music. Gentlemen in top hats and gloves describing the latest society gala as cool and far out. Uh,
I'm sorry, but like,
so yeah, it's a little weak.
imp. I crave violence.
Well, next up
Well, no,
is
no. I want to make fun
yeah.
of this because in Fallout 4, remember the whodunit murder mystery that they did there?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's
Oh
just this, but more shit.
yeah.
The Virginia City one is just that quest, but more shit.
Let's see.
And I'm
So
shitting on this not because I think it's a bad idea. This is a fine filler side quest. I just don't like neo-Victorian bullshit. I
mm,
just I'm tired of it,
I mean that is what the area is.
and I don't like it. So moving on.
Yeah. So remember Cho Day? He was apparently the supplier of the Jaggers' fresh off the whack weaponry, which would make sense for raiders to have that.
I, I
So this is us
I also like
chasing,
this dude
trying to chase
in
him
the
down.
horrible tweed costume. Is this supposed to be neo-Victorian? Is this supposed to be like one of the two?
The tweet? No, I think that's just artwork from Fallout 4.
It's not a bad idea though. I like it.
Yeah. So
Gives me
this
Charlie
chapter,
Chaplin
yeah.
energy.
So you could be traveling down from New Reno by Route 95, by Tahoe by Route 395. So there's various roadside attractions, hitchhikers that you could meet.
Which is an interesting
Uh,
RNG table.
yeah, they suggest that you should have be PC should be at level 7.
Oh yeah, because there's
So
some nasty stuff in the
yeah,
wildlands.
so you pick a road. If you go down the main road, 95, uh, you get pushed by Mr. Bishop to go after Cho Day.
I mean, you'd kind of want
Uh,
to anyway because of the whole. You already had to fight the Jaggers with
yeah,
the guns he
and
supplied
then
anyway.
so if you go down to Silver Springs, it's controlled by none other than the Mordinos.
Yeah, because
However,
as mentioned, they're still around. They're just a lot weaker.
you only have uh, one actual Mordino in their ranks, and the other faction, Mormons,
Hey, new Canaanites. I'm glad they remembered that they are a thing.
which, of course, they would not like because their objection to drugs and alcohol.
Well, not only
However,
that, but
neither group can go it alone.
you forgot the other thing. The leader of the Mormons is actually a priest from before the war because he got Gould.
Yes,
Oh, and his
which
Gouldification came after the war. He spent a good dozen or so years in the worst of the wasteland.
now here's something else here. Jet fuel, a family recipe. In the late 2230s, the Medeo crime family grew rapidly due to the development of an even more addictive form of jet. The specifics of the Merdio's jet form, commonly called jet stream, was believed to be lost when the family's fortunes collapsed in 2241.
If you're curious, the jet stream, that's the formulation that there's a little sociopathic teenager asshole that made it. He also made the
Yeah.
original jet. It's a
No, no,
reference to
no.
that.
That's the so jet is introduced in Fallout 2.
Yep.
It appears in Fallout 3, which a lot of old school fans didn't like because
Why is it over in the
it
East
invalid.
Coast?
They have retconned it to now be that he is basically made just a more addictive form. He's made
Oh,
Superfent.
I forgot about that. Fuck that. It's so bad. I actually memory hold that.
You know what? I like it this way. It's not like, oh, he rediscovered the recipe or anything like that. No, no, no. Jet exists. It's just
No,
they made something that's much more addictive,
I would have preferred
which
if
is
they didn't do that at all, and he just actually made the drug himself.
it doesn't explain how it's in pre-war areas then.
That they can go fuck themselves. That's Bethesda's fault. They can go fuck themselves. I don't care. No, I'm sorry. No,
Yeah.
that's their fault. Not that's their fault. That is not my fault for doing that.
Yeah. But onto the Mormon factions here. So these are Mormons that do live in Silver Springs. They have built up their home here. The guy they're led by is actually a bishop.
Yep,
Or I don't
Bishop
know if
Ash.
that
He was a ghoul, and
actually
he's one of the original residents who basically survived the
I see.
blast and got irradiated slowly in his bunker.
Yeah. And even several of its numbers are even Ash's direct descendants, which that's that's got to be interesting.
Oh yeah, because he can just remember all the embarrassing things that your relatives did.
Yes. The congregation is mainly hunters, farmers, craftspeople. The They will defend themselves if necessary. Their beliefs don't allow them to take aggressive action beyond self-defense, which I think is accurate to.
It's somewhat accurate to the Mormons. The Mormons are willing. The Mormons are down to clown. There's a reason so many gunsmiths were Mormons. They are more than
like
willing to plug a hole in
like
a
look
bitch.
at the guy. Look, he's got the nice. Yeah, wait. They have the white suits. I want to
They
call
are more than
that
willing to
robe
plug a
that
bitch.
I want to call that robe that he has a talit. That just looks like the Jewish talit,
Oh
but
no. The LDS do have uniforms like that. His is a bit off. Like his is actually supposed to have like green inlaying and like it's a little more traditional. They even have robes and shit. But this is just him kind of slapping together an official an official
like,
uniform.
yeah, you can tell.
Like
Well, generally
theirs is.
kind and yeah,
I should show you what Mormon priests looked like back then. They have some interesting
yeah.
clothing.
Well, generally kind and grandfatherly, he can also be condescending and dismissive of the young, which compared to him is basically everyone. So he generally cares about his congregation, even if he's slow to act.
He's a bit of an asshole, but like, let's be fair. He's like an old grandpa. Can you blame him?
Very, yeah. Oh yeah. So you
So
then have this
the main
issue
quest
of
here is essentially this is kind of what happened in New Reno. You're trying to, well, you don't have to. You can
yeah.
encourage them producing more drugs if you wanted to.
Yeah. I do like this here. So if you do arrive in the Chrysler Highwayman, you will immediately be spotted because it's so well known that the Mardinos will realize Bishop is involved.
Yeah,
They won't shoot at you, but the
you lose a lot of opportunities if you do that.
oh, and you then get to meet two missionaries from the Mormon community.
Here's
Sadly,
Mordino's
they're
army because he has
yeah,
a big little
yeah.
group, the
Sadly, they're current
gangers.
art against a horde of board armed and chem boosted raiders.
There's Miss Smith,
Uh,
who I think is Mordino's secretary.
yeah, they got the Mardino Raider, the crime family here. Hold up, 137. What is that Vault Boy?
That's supposed to represent what the Mordino family dressed as usually.
It's the facial hair that gets me.
I don't know why they gave it to him. I think it's because a lot of the Mordinos did have facial hair.
Yeah. So you can talk to Mordino, you can try to handle him. Um Oh, the Miss Smith here. Oh, it is human. I thought it
No,
was
she's a robot.
what did it say human though?
Robot. Miss Smith is a robot and cannot use food, drink, or other consumables. She cannot heal
Oh, that
naturally. What the fuck?
uh, I don't know.
She's a
Must
Miss
be a
Nanny.
mistake.
Why? Wait, human Miss Nanny. What?
That's got to be just a mistake.
I'm ragging on the book, but
So,
they
this
should have caught
again
that. They
though,
should have caught
this
that.
yeah, they again point out there's like a gun runner. Uh so they're getting weapons from him and they point out he may have come from Hawthorne, which but if we talk to Bishop Ash, um let's see. He's polite, but somewhat wary of them if they contain any supermutants. Offer them a
Yeah.
drink, such as purified water and Brahmin milk. He'll ask about the Gunrunner. He'll talk about Cho Day. Mention the crates are U.S. Army. Points you to Arsenal and Hawthorne.
And also, if he doesn't feel like you're gonna actually play ball with him, he'll just try to ice you. Just straight up, he'll try to ice you.
Yeah. Bishop, if you kill more, let's see, if they leave with the Greater Mordino's terms, it reduces your reputation with the Mormons, as the Mordinos will try to violently take out the Mordinos. If they leave without killing Mordino, they'll launch an assault against the Mormons.
Yep, and they have
If
an
they
army,
kill
so
Mordino,
you have to
yeah,
fight a fucking army of these guys.
it's still chaos. If they kill Mordino and convince Bishop Ash to take control, they'll galvanize action, move into space that remains of the Mordino crime family, shut down the jet labs, reopen the scrapyard. It's a long and arduous road, but Bishop Ash is nothing if not a patient man. Because realize, yeah, he'll direct you. You kind of really don't have to deal with the Mordinos.
You know, basically what they tried to do is because some people like to evil max. You know, they like to be an asshole in the wastelands, right?
Yeah, and they do give you,
Also,
yeah,
here's the thing: if you do agree with the Mordinos, you actually earn bad blood with the new Reno guys because remember, the
well, yeah,
Mordinos are on the outs.
yeah.
They don't like
Uh,
this.
let's see. There's other locations like a power station guarded by Mirelurks, um, Urington with a bunch of raiders, and Walker Lake, which is guarded by xenophobic ghouls.
And also, you're right, Jimmy. Basically, the Mormons did have a lot of splits. The new Canaanites were mainly those that survived in the wreckage of Salt Lake City. And also, keep in
Oh,
mind, the Church of Latter-day Saints, it already is technically splintered. There's actually variants that are much closer to Lutheranism than they are to Mormonism at all, and that they're
yeah,
basically the same. There are also those that still keep with the bigamy and the polygamy.
yeah.
Mainly those who really hated that the Mormons were forced to get rid of that. These guys usually live in like crazy cult compounds in places like Montana or like Nevada, you know, places like that. It just depends on what you run into.
Yeah.
As for
So
Hawthorne, there's a guy named Rick Van, the Raider Baron.
took it over a few months ago. So yeah, you're gonna have to deal with him.
There's also the Hawthorne Ordnance Museum, which is a real location, by the way. I actually know this one.
Antique tank from the mid 20th century. Newest display on the history of power armors, showing complete suits of each of the models used by the U.S. Army since its introduction. The
Also, if
Raider
you're
Baron, though,
wondering,
sets his court here.
the Raider band you're dealing with in this area are called the Grinners, and he got the nickname Rictus because he had a habit of Glasgow grinning his victims and mounting their head on pikes.
Also, be aware if you're fighting this guy, he does have a 50 cal machine gun
Oh yeah, he just does. Have fun.
and power armor
Have fun.
with a jury-rigged speaker system in his armor.
Fantastic. I actually, here's the thing. Like, there's a couple of duds in this book, but they're very few so far. I like the Hawthorne encounter a lot.
So yeah,
It's a good idea.
you're gonna have to see how to deal with him. A few other side quests revolving around that, but they do continue to point you to where Cho Day was.
Also,
They,
the
they
NCR sealed the vault, so something you can do hypothetically is unseal the vault.
hmm.
I think you might
Then
be able to.
yeah, but then you do have got about the next town is 120 miles south in Arsenal,
Oh,
which I
and
like to
if
say.
you choose to move on from Hawthorne while Rictus is still alive, things will change up. He is a big threat and will only become worse. If you kill him, the Grinners will break apart. And if you
And it'll allow the
kill them all
people of Hawthorne
off,
to resettle.
the townsfolk will approach them and offer a lot of money, and Hawthorne will reopen. And also, you can find the arsenal, and you might be able to open it up. Keep in mind that's pretty great. The other
They
route
then
you can choose is 395.
Yep. So if you go from Tahoe, where do you hit then?
Markleyville, which is a
Markley.
little bit away. It's a tiny little place. It is
Yep.
divided between the locals and the resistance. So they're breaking apart. Thanks to the attacks from the Jaggers still masquerading as Vipers, Markleyville is divided into two: the locals and the resistance. The locals are most of the population, and they want to keep their heads down. The resistance want to fucking throw down with them.
They also have fuel. Markley magic. Burns like a Cazador sting.
It is
Oh
drinkable,
yeah,
by the way.
yeah. You can help deal
It's
with.
basically super high proof alcohol that is just powerful enough
Yeah.
to be used for most gasoline engines.
Yeah, and you just kill the resistance.
Hashtag kill them all.
Yeah.
You can also get bikes here.
Perhaps get also at least have stats here for the NCR Ranger combat armor.
While you talk about can you talk about the Rangers for a bit? Because speaking of fueling, I have to do something for a bit. I'll be back in a couple minutes, guys.
So to get more into this town here, and surprisingly, they bring up that Cho Day, our guy who's funding various conflicts, gave the resistance guns, which explains why that they're getting these weapons. I believe also then the Jackers are getting them as well, which means he's playing both sides. Sorry, she's playing both sides. Uh, Including resistance members, a replica Fat Man, which might explain how the weapon works, but at a glance it could appear real. So you either can go through the various breakthroughs and try to get the uh, Jaggers out, or convince the resistance to break down the fight and lay down their arms and reintroduce them into the rest of the residents. Um, you can, if you fail to convince, the resistance flees back to Markleyville, um, and they're pretty much at the gates, not willing to help. Kill the resistance. They'll eventually find Markleyville just up the road. Um, so it does appear that in this case, that the resistance here did not know that the Jaggers were defeated, and so you either will kill the resistance, force them to flee, or have them join. If you ally with the resistance and scare them back to Markleyville, they'll find the town locked by a large main gate constructed from wooden scrap, and a single guard watches from the road with a makeshift watchtower. Um, if they are allied,
Who's
they
allied? What happened? Sorry about
sorry
that. I
if
had to refuel.
yeah.
So if you guys are wondering, due to the frost, I have a wood fire going.
So in this quest, actually, it's the fact the Jaggers were kicked out by the locals. The resistance thinks though the Jaggers are still there.
Ah.
So um,
So you got to prove that you
if
kicked their ass. If you kick their ass, it's a lot easier.
well, no, if you are allied with the resistance, you're cautious. They're cautious because there's still that opposition. But if you cause them retreat, it causes tensions to really flare up.
Is this one of those cases where there's no real great way to win?
Um, let's see the outcome. If you side with Levi, they are begrudgingly opened by Audrey, who accepts Levi's point of view. And Audrey cedes leadership to the town to begin defending their citizens. Over the course of a week, Levi reached out to Marco, an arms dealership in the south, to purchase shipment of firearms, which Markleyville becomes more militarized, which the residents don't like. If you side
Okay,
with
yeah. This is
Audrey,
this is
yeah,
the way this works is this is kind of similar to Honest Hearts, where there's no perfect ending.
yeah. So if you side with Audrey, basically his followers just go into the woods and become guerrilla fighters to be gunned down by passing raiders. Word will
Yeah.
never reach Markleyville of their deaths.
So basically,
And this is how.
this is honest
Yeah.
hearts essentially.
Yeah.
Because you can't really get a result that benefits everyone. Which I
Yeah.
don't mind those. I think not everyone, not every quest should be like that, but it's always good to have one where it's like there's no right answer and there's really no answer that'll satisfy everyone.
So,
You either
but then yeah.
ruin their culture by essentially muddling with it and causing them to basically lose a lot of their freedoms, or you consign a couple dozen people to death.
So, but then here you have the next settlement, Marco, which uh, is a small settlement that has a bustling arms trade. It's located near an arms depot.
Well, yeah, this is
Um,
where they get their guns from. It's very small.
they serve small-time buyers preferring to sell to individuals over larger factions, with the singular exception of the NCR. The originally a small raider gang, the Green Thumbs traded the NCR access to the pre-war training tapes found in the base in exchange for pardons and independent training rights.
Essentially, they were crooks, but they went legit, and Marco is trying to get themselves more legit and become a proper town.
Yeah. So,
He wants to play
yeah,
Switzerland.
you've got customers here. You can try to figure out some of the secrets here. There are some guys that want to return to the old ways.
Well, here's the
New
thing.
people
The
coming in.
raiders in the area, the Green Thumbs, unlike most, they're not doing it just because they're savage assholes. They're doing it because they can't survive without raiding.
Yeah, they really don't have.
They're not able to grow crops in the area, so they have to steal
Yeah.
from ruins or kill people for their food.
The next
Also,
settlement here.
Trigger is a grease bag, so have fun with that.
Next settlement though is Gateway, 50 miles along the route is
There's a lot of stuff
Mono
for Marco, by the
Lake.
way.
Yep. So you do have the Gateway Lodge settlement, and then the actual island settlement on Mono Lake, which is a natural reservoir.
So yeah, the Gateway Lodge is their
Mhm.
only way in and out, while the island is where they mostly stay. Let's see. Have you
So
seen this man?
I think that's again pointing out. Have you seen Choday? Um,
Oh,
maybe
here's
this
a
will have
fun
to say
one.
that a man came by trying to pass off a few guns for free. But as long as you say free's never free.
Pretty clever. By
Like,
the way, you do
yeah,
run into, in the area, a Yaguai cub.
if you had killed well, if you killed it upon an hour or upon arrival, an hour later, yeah, the mother comes
Yep.
and try going so far as to break down the lodge walls.
And here's the difference. You're level 7 at this point, or maybe level 8 or 9. The cub's pretty easy to kill. Mama's level 14. Have fun. Then there's the
Yeah, it only
fairy with
suffers
the
a critical
proper
hit if an
settlement.
attack inflicts 7 or more damage.
Yeah, have fun.
74 HP. Oh yeah. It's not a good end.
You're gonna get
Um,
86th, rubbed out. Sleeping with the fishes, pal. You gambled and
yeah.
lost.
You try to help reopen a Crimson Caravan depot, but
Also,
they'll
zap
take you.
that thirst. Nuka-Cola.
It then gets you to
Live well, eat
Arsenal.
well. Look at this shit. You got cram, pork and beans, and what may be their timeline's versions of Twinkies.
Nope, those sweet rolls.
I guess they escaped from Skyrim. Oh no, Skyrim will never leave me. Yeah, 9 dice and vicious. Oh, the Museum
It's
of Wasteland Life. With his thick white
Advanced Edit.
beard and checkered shirt.
Important figures in the wasteland, though with a pinch of inaccuracy, is all information comes from passersby. Yeah, I remember that Vault Dweller. He Didn't he kill Killian Darkwater? Oh, no, he killed Gastro.
I'm just envisioning a Grug
No,
version
no,
of the
no, you're
Chosen One.
crazy. He's gone all the way down to Texas.
No,
No, that's his son.
you got Grug Chosen One because he confused him with the special needs boy from that mission. Because you can play the Chosen One and every character in the first two games as lower than 3 intelligence, and they are fantastic. You don't get much out of the game, but it's really funny for a second playthrough.
Listen, I know for a fact the Enclave. Listen, the Enclave's got a space station, and they're beaming guys down in fucking Seattle.
Does he have like does he have one of those terrible snake creatures from Fallout the Frontier? Does he have like one of those as
Yeah,
bad
it's
taxidermy?
just Frontier.
It's a bad taxidermy snake creature from Frontier.
Listen. The Brotherhood's massive, okay? They just defeated a calculator. A cal? No, the calculator.
And
It's
you
a
just have
giant
this
rope.
broken TI-83 calculator, and that's the calculator in the museum.
Yeah.
Let me think. You
Yeah,
also
yes, got Brotherhood of Steel. That's where Texas is.
there is a Brotherhood of Steel chapter
Or
there, yeah.
the game Brotherhood of Steel.
Oh
We
yeah,
don't talk about that
fascinating that
game
one.
because no matter how bad any new Fallout product is, it ain't Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah, I will say this, despite all of the issues with 76, I would suggest playing Fallout 76 over Brotherhood of Steel. Like, even when it just came out, it was slightly better.
They have a licensed drink there. It's a real world drink in that game. If you want to get the theme, play the Hearts of Iron 4 mod Old World Blues. And
that's one of the best mods, and that's one of the best
oh
mods
yeah,
for Hoi 4.
somehow it's somehow that and the My Little Pony one
I
or
don't care
somehow the
about that
most.
one, and I
I
don't
know,
want to
but
talk about that one.
it somehow is one of the most successful mods out there.
I'm
I
not
don't know
surprised.
why.
Artificial force, over invested autism, and this is the same group of people that decided to shit up a bunch of ROMs of old SNES games by just inserting the ponies into it.
Yeah, but
I
you would
don't
think
care.
somehow it would have collapsed within its autism.
No, no, there's too
I,
many people that will waste their
hold on,
time building up on it. So
hold on.
even if they lose like 5 times their amount of modders, they would have had enough to make it.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say no. No, Fallout Brotherhood of Steel. No, it is 4.
I'm
4 is
sorry, guy. Brotherhood of Steel is painful.
it's listen. Tactics is still used. There are still bits that you can kind of get from tactics. They'd never use anything from Brotherhood of Steel.
This is like this would be the equivalent of you saying openly to my face, "Yeah, I prefer Mega Man X7 over X6." I'm sorry, I don't believe you.
No, this is saying, hey, listen. At least the Last Jedi had some cinematic points. It's not the
The Last
Filoni
Jedi
verse.
was diarrhea, but if you take a lot of brain damage, smoke a bowl of weed, and then right when he reaches out to grab her hand, if you cut right there and just put the credits there, you can cope your way into maybe enjoying the cliffhanger.
But
I'm not saying 4 is good. I'm saying I would
it's
probably
just
have a few more good hours of playing 4 before I would never play it again.
in terms of gameplay and in term like
I could plug a few hours of 4 before stopping. I could only play like 90 minutes of Brotherhood
yeah.
of Steel. I'm sorry.
But next up here though is the
Crazy
town of
Dave's Gold
Arsenal.
Shack.
Oh, and yeah, you do get Crazy Dave's Gold Shack.
Oh,
He's
look at it. It's the shitty slip and slides. Oh, I love
and
it. They
he's
have the little water
yeah,
park. That's
and
fantastic.
he's also got a mutant colleague pickaxe named for having the jutting metal spike protruding from the side of his skull that he's very sensitive about and receptive to any opportunity to remove.
Where's this guy? An arsenal?
Yeah. No, page 175.
Sorry, I'm kind of jumping around. I will say there's a
Also,
lot of stuff, man.
as Jimmy says, anyone who likes X7 over X6, they need Jesus.
Well, yeah.
But just going to Arsenal then, was once a tiny town. Now it's a central stop between New Reno and New Vegas, and a staunch part of the New California Republic. Has over 1,000 people in it, has law and order, and even an NCR delegate.
Which is pretty. Also, I imagine it's in the pockets of the Brahmin barons, which that's an interesting little bit of politics that they don't
Yeah,
really talk
as
about.
well, thanks to an abundance of Brahmin and crops. The tiny settlements scattered in the Sierras often become outposts for raiders. Arsenal finds itself under irregular but frequent attacks. Brahmin rustling has become a problem, forcing the town to develop its own legal system.
So yeah, that's why they joined the NCR, and they're actually pretty influential in the area. A gun in every hand. That's what the current mayor. A gun in every hand.
In every hand, a bullet in every gun.
That's fantastic.
Here's the other thing. They're also xenophobic as fuck. They don't like anyone who's ghouls, mutants, anyone who doesn't look like a typical human or a well-known type of robot.
Ate me bots, ate me ghouls, ate me mutants. Love me MCR, love me gun, love me bullets. Simple as. Also, you have
Uh,
to sign a book. Joe Day was here, so
Along with apparently a super mutant named Herc.
which is interesting given how much they hate super mutants.
They distrust them, but hey, he's selling free guns.
True, a gun in every hand and a bullet in every gun, and a
Uh,
shell in every face.
well, as the main quest, a gun in every hand for now. So yeah, guns are being supplied, and it could be too many guns, too many
Oh,
bullets.
also for those wondering, this is I don't know if it's the first time they mentioned the person, but this is where Boulanger first gets referenced seriously.
Yeah.
Boulanger being the main villain, which we'll get into a bit later. This is where
And
you're running into Choday.
this is more about Choday. You also can get dirt on Mayor Chambers. An extended task: make a politician tell the truth.
Oh, also straight up, everyone in the town has a gun, at least one gun.
Everyone has eight.
So
The Amer.
oh, please tell me that. Please tell me one of the results of this quest ends in like a hot fuzz scenario where everyone just starts blasting.
So you ask Choday about his activities, what he's done. Hart came from New Vegas, as he mentioned interactions with a collection of strangely dressed idol worshippers that Choday can identify as the Kings.
So here's the thing: if you succeed, the mayor essentially begins crashing out and ugly crying as he reveals, "I'm not anyone. I never was political, like a political firebrand. I was a loser. I had to get in contact with this guy." Because otherwise, I'd never be able to do anything. Ugly cries harder.
So you can always kill the mayor, although it will make the entire town turn on them. And remember, the town all has guns.
Which does lead to the
They,
funny result, though. If you're able to pull it off, you basically just slaughter all 1,000 people and just leave it as a wreckage.
I think if you do that, I
The
think,
NCR would have a kill squad on you so hard, man.
yeah.
They would kill. They would
Well,
kill
no,
you
no.
places.
This explains the collapse of the NCR. If literally 4 people can murder an entire large town of the NCR, what the fuck is the point of this?
Well, remember, a cuckold ugly cried as he nuked Shady Sands, so I don't think it's that hard. No, seriously, if you're wondering, that's again, a cuckold cried,
Well,
ugly
no, it
cried
wasn't getting
over his
cuck. It was
wife.
more. It was more. No, we need to wipe out this service civilization.
So a cuckold cried because
Oh,
his wife got fucked by another
I do
man.
like this. Interesting here, though. Um, because of the militarization of the town, it's becoming a blockage between trade and the NCR, and the NCR will eventually turn on them and send forces to remove the town's leadership at a costly endeavor that will pull resources from Hoover Dam. Once word, if you force an NCR recall, then after the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, Arsenal wins independence.
which is interesting.
which again, it hints the overextension. If this large town ends up separating, I think that it kind of points to them kind of splitting apart, and then you nuke Shady Sands, you move the capital. I think the capital would then move more down south, because here's the other thing. How many of the Brahmin Barons do you think are in Shady Sands?
Quite a few.
I don't think so. I
It
think
depends on where it is. Is it in the San Fernando Valley?
well, they moved it near more LA.
I think I think their main refugee area is the Sac, so around Sacramento and northern San Fernandino,
Yeah.
San Fernando Valley. Yeah, he got cucked by a woman, ugly cried and nuked it. That's garbage.
Well, he didn't get cut. No, no, it was literally the family thought, oh, we could just go to the surface, and then he pitched a fit that that there's a stable civilization that's not pre-war.
So he ugly cried and nuked Shady Sands, thus fucking over the NCR in a way that is completely stupid and makes me completely uninterested in the show. It's very fun.
But
Yeah,
next
here's
up
the thing.
is
Yeah, the NCR is rotting from the inside, but you didn't need to do this bullshit. You know
you
what you
didn't
could have
need.
fucking done instead? Have a civil war. Have like people get angry at the Brahmin barons for corrupting everything. Have like riots because you have the bleeding ulcer that is the Sonora campaign. Because remember,
Oh, you know what?
the
Oh yeah,
NCR did have their own Vietnam. They were declared.
yeah.
They invaded Sonora, which was not really doing anything. There was like a few raiders that would occasionally go hop the border, but they invaded the entire fucking thing in a massive overreaction in an attempt to shore up popularity.
Oh, you know what you could also do? Uh, as another reason. So after
You have that.
New
You have the
Vegas,
Brotherhood
after New
fallout.
Vegas, yeah, after New Vegas though, you have the Brotherhood or not the NCR be like, oh, we can't pay our veterans.
Yeah, you could have had the Rangers revolt, which they almost do at one point.
Yeah.
Because
So
remember, the Rangers were originally their own organization before they got
yeah.
suborned.
So after all of this, we finally do get to New Vegas.
Well, yeah, I know, Jimmy, that like the NCR highlights that it's nowhere near the ideals that Tandy had, but like I'm just pointing out like the show. I'm just pointing out
It
like
also
there's
does
other
that.
ways you could have had them collapse without nuking Shady Sands because a
Yeah.
guy ugly cried because he got cuckolded.
So New Vegas.
Bada
Once you
bing, bada
arrive,
boom. Welcome to
yeah,
Vegas, baby, with the lucky 38.
you'll inevitably arrive. You'll get obviously Mr. House, who's secretive in Lucky 38. The three families, Chairman, Omertas, and the White Glove Society.
Mm-hmm.
The Followers of the Apocalypse, the
You
Kings,
got
the
free side. Yep, you
Vipers,
got free side, which is basically just where the pores go, and you get mugged
yeah,
every fucking day.
the Fiends,
There's the
and the
Atomic
Boomers.
Wrangler, although
We are missing out on Jacobstown.
yeah, we are missing on that.
Yeah. So they do make it here with the Boomers. Uh, yeah, you're not going near them because they only remain isolated
It
until
took the
Courier
courier.
6,
It took the courier to do it,
bum rushing through artillery fire.
which is
Like
fantastic.
even if you survive the artillery fire, the locals they will then immediately just shoot at you, which actually could inspire that it's like, well, wait a minute, they didn't attack us, and then the courier comes by. But let's see,
If you're
players probably know
wondering, the
about.
reason they're doing this, this is a bit of a minor railroad. If you're wondering, they don't want you to do the boomer quest on accident.
Yeah, they
They're trying to not have you allowed to do that.
because your players will know the boomers, but the player characters won't. But
Yeah.
let's if you travel along the 95 as you're going across there, you get the town of Betty, 30 inhabitants. Uh,
Oh, Beatty? Yeah,
yeah,
Beatty.
yeah, Beatty. You just
Or
got
Betty.
a Red
I
Rocket
don't know.
gas station. It's a crumbling town with two competing families, the Stones and the Rosas. So,
Mr. Handy Fuel, do not drink. I'm just
oh,
envisioning.
funnily enough, the Rosa family does speak in Spanish.
Sounds about right. A lot of people well, not a lot of people. A good chunk of the Southwest does have Spanish as its first language even before the immigration, Because a lot of Mexicans lived there. They lived there since like the early settlement period, especially in New
It's almost
Mexico.
like, yeah.
New Mexico
Uh,
and South Texas always had a lot of Spanish speakers, and
yeah.
this isn't that much different for the Mojave.
Let's see. Yeah, Betty doesn't play a far part in the conflicts in New
You
Vegas.
come here to look for Herc. You come here to look for the
Yeah,
super mutant.
but then Novak.
Oh, and also you can try to help the town a bit, and if they do,
Yeah,
it becomes a nice little area. But yeah, Novak. Hell
you
yeah.
do get Novak. You can meet Jean May Crawford. You can meet Boone or Manny Vargas.
They're all here. You can even go to the Repcon site, which is nearby.
The Dino Bite gift shop. This is an Easter egg just for people.
It's a
There's
nice
I do
little
and I
egg
do like here also there is no quest here.
because you don't need
This
it.
is entire this is entirely, hey, we're in New Vegas. You get to you get to see Boone talk about my wife is dead. And Jean May Crawford just side-eyeing.
I mean, you could also, like I said, you could also because you just play the game. There's areas nearby you can explore that you just take from the game. It's not a big deal.
No, well, I was thinking you could also buy Wind Brahmin.
You can buy Wind Brahmin
Um and then you get to New Vegas itself. Uh and I do like here, we get the population settlement, 20,000.
because unlike a lot of parts in the wasteland, remember Vegas only got hit by maybe a dozen nukes because
Which I
most of
will
them
say
got
this
shot down.
for the show, it does give us a larger Vegas. The
Which
game
makes
mentioned,
sense.
yeah, but you can come on down to Mick and Ralph's. They got stuff they're not even allowed to sell.
Correct.
The Van Graffs, I don't see the Atomic Wrangler, but you can go to West Side
Well, the
and you
Atomic
can.
Wrangler was going. The Atomic Wrangler was basically on the outs at this point.
Oh yeah. You can go to West Side, meet the super mutant mean son of a bitch,
Yep.
uh, Eddie's co-op, and Red Lucy, who
Runs the
trains
Thorn.
animals for Thorn.
Then you got the
And
Strip,
then if
which is where you meet the Securitrons, and this is where you can go
and
gambling.
you do need the credit chat of 2,000 caps per person.
Because we don't invite poors here. If you're poor, go to
Which
Freeside.
I realized this then. Someone should make a mod that actually now, if you have a companion that is not a robot or an animal, you need a 4,000 credit check. It wouldn't make much sense gameplay wise, but
It would
think
make
about
sense
that.
gameplay wise. It would hurt, but it would fit the mechanics. Also, hey,
And
think about it like this: you can go to those casinos, and if you have 10 luck, you can get banned from all of
yeah,
them.
yes, you can gamble. Um, you
I like
also,
how you can get banned from every casino in the region.
yeah, side quest, favor for the king. Um, if
Like
they
you got to do
discovered
the Kings.
Chaudet,
They're like one of the cooler
yeah,
factions in the area.
they believe that every man is a king in his own right, making them an outlier in the wasteland.
I mean, yeah, they're essentially. I mean, they're essentially a bunch of like hardcore idealists.
So you help out Deke, passable Elvis impersonator's mid-20s, and his love interest, Glenda, Susan, and Tex. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Deke swings both ways.
It's a love quadrangle.
It'll be a lot quadrilateral.
Well, no, because they also have their own hang-ups with each other.
Yes. Uh, if you do find, um,
I also like how this guy's getting a ticket from the Securitron. Look at him. He's just staring in annoyance as he has to pay this bill.
yes. GI Blues help the kings around with Freeside.
That is a reference, by the way, to one of the
That's
quests.
the quests and to a Elvis song. I don't know if I think "Loving You" as well is an Elvis
It
song.
is. Both of these are references. The King's R.I.P. What? The guy in the love quad. You would be surprised. So here's the thing. A lot of fucking
Um,
characters in New Vegas were bi, swung both ways, straight, gay, lesbian. There's a lot of them, dude.
no. They get ghouled in the show.
Oh. Oh.
At least some of
Oh.
them do.
Oh.
The king's building is still alive, and the king never dies. Well, the not the king. I think he ends up becoming a ghoul and gets shot, but
Get out.
you
Nope.
can never
Get
stop
out.
the king.
Get out. Yeah, the show's fucked. I don't care. Get out. I
It's
know
also
it's
been,
minor, and I know what they handle with the characters is
but
fine.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't give a shit,
It's
though.
it's a rough spot.
No, I don't give a shit at
It's
this
like in
point.
Star Wars if they just destroyed R2-D2.
And they did it casually. It's based. No, it's closer to. Hey, let's reference Transformers again and scare off the audience. It's like watching. It's like watching Ironhide die in a split second. Just
Oh
fucking
yeah.
gets
Oh,
cooked, falls over.
well, no. Then I kind of like it just because how fucking violent it is.
I still. It still kind of feels like taking a big steaming shit all over
They did.
material you didn't work on.
Yeah. I'd love if they had more context to it, but
I can understand it because here's the thing: in most timelines, the kings get destroyed. Like you have to
yeah.
try to keep them alive.
Also the strip becomes irradiated.
Sorry, I'm that actually
Hey,
made
it
me
happens
ill.
in dust.
Sorry,
But you could,
sorry, I'm
yeah,
just projectile vomiting from.
you can find. Oh, you can. But hey,
I'm gonna be blunt. I think that the next couple seasons will eat shit.
yeah.
They're not gonna stick the landing. I don't think they are.
Well, we still got the last episode of the season, but
Hey,
you can get a
maybe they'll fuck
you
that one
can
up too, because that's where I lost
there's
it in season one.
you can you can trade a with the chairman to get a jukebox, in which the kings will give you a 6-pack of New Cola Cherry, a random issue of Live and Love magazine, and a shish kebab named Hunka Hunka Burn and Love.
Nice.
That yeah, that's
There's a bunch of quests you could do. Like Elvis on tour is another one.
meet. You can actually meet with the king, help with the followers of the apocalypse.
No, I agree with you, guy. That's what burned me from the show.
Yeah.
When they like when the moment a man cried because he was cucked to ghouldom, he was cucked to undeath, and he decided to nuke the capital of the NCR rather than just I don't know
Oh
have
no,
the
no, he nuked.
equivalent of a fucking
He nuked.
mutiny.
He nuked his wife.
How dare you cheat on me with a lesbian? Ugly
There wasn't even
cries.
any cheating. There wasn't even cheating. It was just, well, it was ideological cuckery.
The
I
man
guess.
who cucked Shady Sands to death. Again, yeah, the character acting's fine. I don't give a shit because of what they've done.
Well, remember, remember, he is Muad'Dib.
No.
He's
Anyway,
Kyle
meeting with the
MacLachlan.
king
He
before he
is
becomes a
Muad'Dib.
ghoul and shot in the head.
So you can meet with the king.
Before he gets shot in the face as a ghoul.
But then you have the. You then are able to meet with. Once you're ready to meet with Herc, he's supplying weapons. He also has an Assaultron, Mrs. Claus. And yeah, you can try to ambush him or try to talk with him.
Oh, that is. Oh, by the way, the best part: monster truck. You can run into a monster truck as part of its quest with Herc.
He's
Herc,
also a
the
nihilist.
super. Well, we know the
Mutant
solution to that.
nihilist.
You shoot him. You just shoot them until they die.
He is a super mutant from the original army. With the destruction of the Unity, he's become despondent and listless, and he headed east as many super mutants did. At New Vegas, he tried to settle down, but his angry demeanor and flippant attitude didn't win any friends. Continued east, killing a few small legion groups, before he stumbled across Bullinger's robot perimeter in the Valley of Fire. Bullinger sent one of her robots to take stock of the super mutant, and after a remote conversation, she persuaded him to come inside, and she finally had what she needed, a killing machine in search of meaning. She convinced Herc to her plans, and supplying a new army of the way so they could bring about their own end.
Yeah, I can believe that. A dude needs to find meaning and gets tricked into following another death cult after leaving a former death cult. But yeah, you have to fight him in his fucking monster truck, which is
so
fantastic.
yeah. Um,
Also,
so
good luck taking him down. He's pretty rough.
the thing is, yeah, he's liking this because hey, I get to kill all the humans. But if you fight him, opening shot from a missile launcher, then he has a bumper sword.
Yep.
You could try to talk him down, but um, you kind of need to make sure that you can force him to talk. You need to support your argument with the following points. He lacks a reason to live. He wishes to see humanity destroyed in recompense for the Unity's destruction. Deep-seated feeling his actions are meaningless. Any argument that would look to change his views needs to be based off of reaffirming his sense of self beyond serving a new master.
Or you can just triple shoot him in the face as a nihilist should deserve. I'm only saying that
Uh,
because I read 1/5 of a book called Hollow Ones.
yeah. So you need to your difficulties reduced for each fact you have about Herc, and further test if the person talking is a super mutant. Also, I do like the uniform here. That fucking car armor and like the flamethrower with the exhaust.
That's old. I think that's art from 4 during design.
That. Oh yeah, that is. I like that though.
It is. It is pretty
That's
good.
really fun.
It's pretty good. I have no complaints with it.
He has a Bozar.
Yes, he does.
He has a Bozar. Yes.
Yes, he does.
Oh, also, he has a map to Bullinger's location. There's a Cazador nest near there.
Well, you kind of need that. No, seriously, like you're not gonna have a
Yeah,
Cazador nest like you're getting
it's
to the final. You're gonna have to like
yeah.
they're the
You get
nastiest things in the wastes.
Cazadors, immune to radiation poison, Stinger, TN 12 8.
Also, you can find Mrs. Claus, the
Yeah,
gift Assaultron.
yeah. She has and she even has a Christmas hat on her.
Yep, I wanted to point that out because I thought it was cute.
That is fun. Uh
Oh, I love this art of the Cazador, but then again, these guys are nasty. I love them.
oh, fuck them. Potent Sting. Whenever it hits, treat as if one of its effects are rolled.
So you're just guaranteed to get some of the venom. It just hurts.
However, if you inflict an injury, you kill the creature outright. It's only got 13 hit points, but it can if the Kazor uses the sprint action, it increases its defenses by +1 up to 3 until the start of the next turn.
Also, butchery. Scavengers can butcher a dead Cazador, and you can find an egg or a stinger.
Them's good eatins. But then when you meet with Bullinger, she's got Assaultrons. Level 13.
Yep. This is still not
Six
as
laser
crazy as the Commonwealth mission.
6 laser turrets. Oh, you're talking about the
Last Son of Adam.
oh yeah. So I thought you were talking about like the Automatron DLC.
That one's also pretty insane given how many fucking robots you have to deal with.
Yeah. Sage of the approach.
Also, the only character that's almost as annoying as Preston. Another one of my robots has gone rogue.
Oh no, I'm my recent one. I just killed the mechanist. So um, let's see. Then this main quest is you're trying to finally confront Bullinger. She does have power armor, a Tesla cannon, and a vertibird.
On the one hand, that I mean that's a little much, but on the other hand, come on.
It's the end game boss.
I know. That's why I'm not complaining. It's just you know what? You know why I thought about that though? Like what the fuck? Remember the whole thing about the boomers are they want to go into the skies, which makes sense for her. But it's like why
How
didn't
did
they
she
get the
get?
fucking yeah, why how
Well,
did they not?
I think she's probably got like a bunker.
No, I like you get what I mean where it's like I get why like thematically it makes sense. The boomers want to fly. So her getting this makes sense. It's really good. But I'm also thinking, wait, well, why didn't the boomers just like if they had a person that could salvage that, how did they not get the goddamn bomber out of the lake?
Yeah. So
Yeah, like you get what I mean, where it doesn't make
yeah,
sense.
well, I don't think this is again because I don't think this is from Nellis Air Force Base.
No, I know it's not, but like before she got exiled or whatever she chose to do, you're really telling
Let's
me
see.
she wasn't smart enough to dredge that thing
Oh,
out of the
here's why.
fucking lake?
The thing is, it's a secret storage facility or it's living quarters. Um, has a large warehouse and an underground hangar housing a vertibird. So it's a bunker. She's
Okay,
in
she
a
found the
pre-war
bunk.
bunker.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, she
Sorry,
found a
I just had to complain about that
now.
because if she salvaged it, that would have been nonsense.
Now you can try. You could obviously try to fight her, or you could talk it out. She will not be convinced by any amount of evidence. Instead, someone must pretend to be sympathetic to her side while slowly unraveling her claims. To do so, they must pass 3 consecutive charisma or intelligence plus speech tests, difficulty 2, increasing by 1 each time. And these are the positions. The people of the wasteland will grow back stronger after the weak are culled.
Yeah?
The NCR and the Legion are both inherently flawed and must be destroyed for the people to prosper. Oh, hi, Ulysses.
And it's her destiny to oversee the new conflagration which must be brought to fruition.
They must convincingly listen to Bullinger, and she responds to any attempts for fear to belittle with hostility. If successfully talked down, she realizes that her plans will never be realized and falls into a depressive slump, dropping her weapons and becoming unresponsive. She will not deactivate her defenses, meaning if this is done, meaning the PCs will still have to carve through them to reach her.
Which is very Fallout, especially later Fallout, where you can talk them. I mean, even first Fallout, you can do that with the Master.
Or no, I do like this with Fallout 2, where you can tell the Enclave scientists that maybe genociding is bad, and then they immediately realize that they've done a terrible mistake and just kill everyone in the bunker.
I think a funnier one would point it out that they basically consign themselves to a genetic bottleneck that would just kill off humanity. That's another way you could have done it.
Yeah. Let's see. She's wearing the
Also, if you're
T60.
yeah, she has basically the nicest power armor besides the stuff the Enclave
Well,
got their hands
actually,
on.
um, the Jingoist power armor. It's designed with a flag-waving Vanguard suit. Front lines propaganda photos, a massive Commonwealth flag, American Commonwealth, uh, and the arms are blazoned with hand-painted text, "Crush commies" and "Wreck Reds."
I mean, a T60 ain't nothing to fuck with either. I think it's the only thing that's better than it is the X series that the Enclave
Uh,
got their hands on.
Technically, lore-wise, it should be 45, 60, 51 Enclave.
Oh,
The 60,
I thought
because
the
the
60
60,
was newer.
it's newer, but it
Oh yeah,
doesn't
they
have
budget cut compared to the 51. Yeah, I forgot about that.
it doesn't have the same rads. It is
It has
confusing,
a
and I
little
think
less protection. It's a little
yeah,
cheaper. Yeah,
and
I forgot about that.
and in the games, technically, it is more powerful because I think for players they'll look at it. It's like larger number the better, but lore wise, it
Yeah,
shouldn't be.
lore wise, it should be okay. I always got confused because stat wise, it was usually
Yeah.
better.
But that is. But once you're
But
done
yeah,
with that,
once you emotionally destroy this person, once you make her crash out and just contemplate topping herself,
yeah. So
it then no
look
no.
here.
There's one last thing. It ends with the fallout where the entire purpose is you then do the end sequence because this is treated like a game almost.
The
Like this is
Fallout, I like that Fallout games typically end with a slideshow demonstrating what happened to the wasteland based on the actions of the player. Below are the list of settlements, how the pieces interact with them, the Fallout sections of the respective sections, referencing reference those sections before reading or paraphrasing the conclusion. Remember to focus on the consequences of the player's direct actions. Remind the players how they brought closure or possibly more problems for the Mojave.
yep. And then there's future quests that you
Conclusion.
can set up from here because from
Yeah, but
depot
no,
to
no.
castle.
Conclusion. War. War never changes. Threatening the communities of the Mojave and the Sierras once more. War looms like a cloud of ash over a valley of fire. With the escalation across the wasteland suppressed, war is held at bay for a time. Though the great powers of the NCR and Legion remain ready for the next conflict, Today is a day of peace. The sun rises over the desert as it is over every battle before, and while the violence of a broken world remains a constant threat, a new tomorrow dawns. It is a long and twisting road for humanity to remember the lessons of history, and the ruins of the old world stand as a testament to these failures. Each time that somebody fights against the threat of annihilation, there's another chance for survival in a strange yet spectacular world. Dun dun dun.
It's really nice to actually see something done with respect. It's nice. It is
Yeah,
really nice to just get your hands on something where they actually cared.
like the yeah, you could tell these people care. Like they go up
There's one
as
kind
like
of dud area, but that's only just because of my personal taste. It actually makes a lot of sense for the area, and if you like this sort of stuff and you like murder mysteries, if you really liked the quest from 4, it's not exactly the same, so don't worry, you can't meta it. We didn't even
yeah,
spoil who done it. So that's solid.
like
The quest
you
line's
can
solid.
they literally say yes, you could become involved with the new conflict or cross paths with the clearly insane Courier 6.
Yeah, you totally could.
Uh, you can go into the Moapa Valley to fight the whispers of a ghost Deathclaw, handle uh, a followers near Lake Mead that gather around a statue of junk shaped like an octopus and capture people. Oh, this is the Mirelurk Kings. They capture people to sacrifice to their imagined god. Um,
Which that's kind of like later Fallout bullshit they're kind of throwing in. I will
well,
say I don't hate when they add in a little bit of the Eldritch into Fallout.
it's
It
fine.
adds a nice little flavor. But what they've been very fucking guilty of ever since, well, honestly, ever since Far
Thr-
Harbor, is they've gotten not Far Harbor, the Lookout Point Lookout. Ever since then, they've gotten much more egregious about it.
Well, who knows? Maybe it's a part of the Elder Scrolls, and these are just
Don't give them ideas. You know they're gonna try that eventually.
listen. The Nerevar Dwemer power armor.
No, no, you're saying that, but now I just have a really hilarious idea. This is where the Dwemer went. This is where the Dwemer went when they struck the heart of Lorcan.
The Dwemer are the actual. We are the descendants of the Dwemer. I like here though that they say traders along Long 15 complained of rat scorpions attacking intelligently, working in tandem with Cazador air support.
Oh, that's a bit of a reference because there is a bit character who did experiments on improving the intelligence of animals, and one of them is a rat scorpion he trained to play chess that you cannot win against unless you cheat,
Oh, this is
even if
Fallout
you have
2.
intelligence 10. Yeah, it's from
Is
Fallout
this
2,
Fallout?
but it's a neat little reference. Yeah.
You've got also you can go up to Zion.
Well, yeah, you can do
Uh,
the Honest Hearts campaign,
yeah, you can meet up with the honest. I
which
think.
means you can run
Well,
into
no.
Joshua Graham.
Well, no. You can run into New Canaan and
Oh,
then Joshua,
well,
because the town will come under the White Leg attack next year.
so
But
you could derail Honest Hearts by fucking destroying the White Legs by killing salts upon wounds.
you shoot General Gobbledygook in the face.
You launch a fat man at Caesar in his tent.
Yeah. And though they do end this with actually advertising the new at least the new products they had for the game.
Yeah,
Those are the
let me
miniatures.
show that off. Where what
Like
page?
well, page 240,
Thank you.
240.
Because I want to show that off. I was on our little visiting screen, so
Yeah, like you got miniatures like for a full squad of Brotherhood,
yeah, I just want to show
basic
this off.
survivors.
Fallout, the
Uh,
role-playing game. Experience nature's beauty up close and personal. And here's the minis.
that's a Mirelurk Queen. You've got an Enclave guy in power armor.
And these
You've
look
got
pretty decent.
Brahmin.
They're pretty
It
decent
it
mid
now
to upper tier line stuff.
it is like you look at it. It is based on the Fallout 4 art, which if that's not your thing,
I don't think the
uh,
Fallout 4 art's that bad.
it's
The
yeah.
game isn't that great, but I think the art's fine.
And I mean, I do have the miniatures here. They are. pretty solid. A little fragile when it comes to gluing together, but
I mean, at least it ain't Abaddon the Armless.
it's not. Actually, I think a metal one might actually be nice, at least for the power armored guys.
It would help. There's also
The other thing
Dreams and
also,
Machines.
yeah, they also have STL files. I think for like terrain.
Yes, they do.
But
And on
hey, if
top
you
of
want
that,
to
you can buy
recreate
terrain
your
yourself.
settlement, but yeah,
If you want to buy 100 copies of Preston Garvey to just destroy, like you know how some children
the
will take it
settlement, the
actually,
settlement, the settlement, this.
and then you just like throw him to get eaten by your cat, which you just play as a giant monster in Fallout. You could do it.
They do have cats. Why isn't there mutant cats?
Giant mutant cats, come on, come on, start cooking, start cooking. Especially
So,
since cougars, yeah, remember pumas and cougars are a thing, and they're the largest
oh
of the
yeah,
little cats. So all in all,
so
I like this book. I would rate it. I would actually rate it a cut above decent. I would rate it as a good.
I'd say yeah, very good. It feels like it's a good campaign setting.
It's a
The
refreshing.
people
It's also
here,
refreshing for the RPG because a lot of
yeah,
the book for the RPG, a lot of the side adventures are all in the Commonwealth. And while it does flesh it out, um, there's a reason Fallout 4 is not as popular as some of the other ones.
yeah, they lack that kind of
It lacks depth. It lacks
detailed world.
it lacks depth. It lacks a flowing storyline, and you really can't break free from the stations of canon in it as much as you could with others.
Yeah,
It's you got to follow the script, pal, or else.
yeah, but I gotta say, yeah, like clearly the designers here, they know their Fallout lore, they're fans of it, and they know how to translate that gameplay into a tabletop space.
We openly stated that some of the first and earliest missions felt like a Fallout quest, which that's a high compliment.
Uh, I
It
think
nailed the tone, it nailed the options. It even it even did something that other RPGs wouldn't necessarily have thought of. You can talk out all of the problems. Is that necessarily the best way to play? No, but that is how you can play Fallout. You can genuinely talk down a lot of the antagonists. You can talk down the Master, for example. You cannot talk down Dick Richardson, but you can talk down most of the Enclave goons. You can talk down John Henry
uh,
Eden. You can talk him down.
you talk down Augustus Autumn, you can talk down the Legate Linnaeus, and then you can't.
You can talk down the big MT. You can actually force
Not
them.
gonna be, I think for Fallout 4, I don't know if you
You can
can.
talk down
I don't.
Ulysses as well.
You can't talk down. I don't think you can talk down in Fallout 4 or 76. Maybe you can. There
That
are. I mean,
that one
listen.
is
There.
you damned if you do, damned if you don't, because
Yeah.
depending on the factions, you can't.
It depends on the faction. There are though in the other quests, in like the other some of the side quests, you can do that.
It's not as good about that, which
It's
the
not because
RPG
it's not really
fixes.
dialogue focused.
No,
But
it is, but it's you got to follow the story because I'm a hack
what
writer.
I would love from these guys, though, I'd love give me let me delve into Legion lands.
Yeah, what they need to do, they don't need, but I would love for them to work with the material they had from Van Buren that doesn't clash against any of the current canon too much. The that region would be good. Arizona as a region would be pretty great because that's the heartlands of the Legion. I would
I
also
did see that.
not say no to the southeast or
Yeah.
Texas. I know the Brotherhood of Steel sucks, but there's a lot of stuff you can do in Texas.
If they recontextualize Brotherhood of Steel, I'm buying that.
I would give it a shot. Or hell,
I yeah.
how about tactics? What if they do the Chicago area with the calculator and shit?
Well, the calculator's dead at this point.
But you know what I
But
mean. What if they did that
yeah,
area?
I don't know. Yeah, that would be fun.
Or post-apocalyptic Canada, like the wreckage of that area.
That would be
Or you
fun.
could do like what Old World Blues the mod did. Remember what they did with Mexico, where most of it is governed by Tlaloc, the failing AI?
Yeah, like they they're coming out, I think, with a solo RPG book for this game, which, given Fallout, that actually might be a bit fun. But they have a gold mine of quests that they can do with this.
No, like I said, this is a good book. I would say it's also better than some of the other ones they have, just because I have a soft spot for the Mojave. Most people do.
Oh,
Um,
you know what? Also, they could. I don't think they legally could do this, but it'd be fun if they did a Fallout London expansion.
oh, that'd be fantastic. Fallout London or Fallout. You know, it would be really fun because there's something that they never touch upon that I think would really work. It steps a bit on on another IP's toes, but Fallout Moscow.
I mean, yeah,
Because
that's just
remember, the Soviet Union by the time of the war was actually a loose ally of the US.
that would be.
Because at that point it basically lagged behind so badly, and if you're wondering why it was the Chinese rather than the Soviets, what happened was the designers in Black and Raven Isle, one of them had a friend from Russia and they were on a phone call and they heard a bunch of gunshots because the Bratvo were fighting in the background, and in his own words he said, I don't think I could make a superpower out of that.
Yeah.
Because this was 90s Russia he was experiencing.
uh, that would be fun. I mean, I'm surprised actually that given the amount of Slavs and Eastern Europeans that love Fallout, I'm surprised they never made a Fallout RPG set in Russia.
Well, that's what Metro and Stalker's for.
Oh yeah, yeah, pretty much.
But you could totally do that. I would really like to see them dip their toes in, like cautiously, maybe with a little bit of Bethesda. Hey, Daddy Bethesda, can you let us do this? And I don't know, some arrangements with that, because there's a lot of regions that they don't really try with that you could do.
Like
Also,
like
for
the
the
rest
love
of
of
Latin
God,
America.
yeah, Latin America. Also, for the love of God, stop using the Brotherhood of Steel. Come up with other U.S. Army remnant ideas, please.
The
Please,
Coast Guard.
Bethesda. Yeah, the Coast
Wait,
Guard,
wait.
the
No,
EVA.
we could tech the Space Force.
You could. Remember, they
We
did
could.
have a battle on the moon. They fought the
We did.
Chinese on the moon.
We did have a moon battle.
And the soldiers were left to die up there when the bombs fell.
Oh. Oh, what if they discover the men in the moon?
Oh yeah, the Zeta Reticulans or whatever,
The
the
they've
aliens.
hollowed out the moon.
Fallout Agartha.
Fallout
Fallout Agartha. Because we got
uh
Cthulhu. Oh,
Fallout
speaking of
Fallout
which,
no
there's a,
Fallout and no Fallout Antarctica, and we're going to the Elder Thing city
well, no,
with
you're
their
saying
mutant
that. You're
penguins.
saying that, but there was cut
Deathclaw
content.
penguins.
There was cut content for Fallout 4, where you go to an underwater vault, which is heavily Cthulhu themed and inspired because of the giant squid living near there.
Oh, that would trigger my megalophobia.
Essentially, what happened was, as they were building the area based on cut material, uh, the workmen and the vault dwellers constantly had nightmares because apparently the squid in the area mutated from the radiation in the oceans and essentially became aboleths, where they had psionic abilities that influenced you in your dreams, like Cthulhu.
Ooh.
Which that's an example of elder things I don't mind. Like I don't mind a bit of Eldritch, but you can't spam it. But yeah. All in all, this is a good book. To pay off doing a good book, I volunteer the idea of us shitting on hollow ones for a couple of hours. I don't think we're gonna finish the book. It's 100 pages and it feels like 500 pages. But I would love shitting on it next week.
Oh,
If
we
not
will.
that, we need there's other options. We could always read the shit post that is the Clan Malkavian book.
But whatever we'll be venturing back into the world of darkness.
I'm leaning towards hollow ones because it is horrible. I spent an hour shitting on 3 pages. I spent an hour going bit by bit, buckle to buckle, making fun of the main character whose name is Mark. We already read the
Well,
My Little Pony book, NDR. It's one of
yeah.
our streams. We already did. We even brought a guest and specialist for it, so we knew what the fuck we were talking about. It's also not that bad. It's not that bad.
We could. I think there were expansions for it. We could end up going
We could,
into
I mean,
that.
if you really want us to read more horse book, yeah, there are there's the multi crossover splat, and there are extra expansions. I guess we could read the horse book again. It's not really going to
But
make us
yeah.
suffer because it's not a terrible book, but you know.
Well,
We'll
it's getting late
probably
enough,
need to
and
bring back our horse specialist, or alternatively Shanghai Biggs into helping us because he knows a bit about horses.
and remember all good night, and make sure your spurs jingle, jangle, jingle.
And ain't that a kick in the head? Gets shot in the face.